This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Wolfe & Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Wolfe & Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Wolfe & Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Wolfe & Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by Sports Grill, good food, good drinks, good friends. Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealership in the Southeast United States. The Fort Lauderdale Police Department. The FLPD is hiring. Go to FLPDjobs.com.
When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
And roll. We are on the air. Coming to you live, of course, from the finest dealership in the business. We've been doing it for over 12 years here at Acura Pembroke Pines. Sean Stanley by my side. How you doing, Sean? You doing all right? All right. Let me see if I think I got to move a little bit this way. Get a little more centered there. Anyway, hope you all are well out there. And cranking on a beautiful Friday. It is a beautiful day. We got a ton of cars on the lot. By the way, I forgot what color he said that was, because Larry told me that that color is such a badass color. I'm looking at this RDX right now, and it's like this goldish, copperish color that is just absolutely badass, man. I forgot the damn color, but the name of the color. But they've got a couple of models that come in that. It's like limited, but it's really, really nice. But anyway, good morning to one and all. The day after the draft, after they drafted Nikola Jovic, so they got Jovic on the team, which is a beautiful thing. I listen, I have no idea. A buddy of mine reached out to me. So what do you think about the pick? I'm like, I have no idea, man. It's like, what can I tell you? I didn't go to Europe to scout this guy and all that. And I'm listening to Riley talk about it. He's been playing with men and And Riley's favorite thing of all time has always been, well, he's long, that kind of stuff. And obviously 6'10", 6'11", whatever, long, can shoot. They need a stretch four. Can he be the guy? I have no freaking idea if he can be the guy or not. I don't know how he's wired. You know what I mean? I don't know. And we're going to find out, right? I mean, over the years, you have found out how Barkov is wired, right? Really talented guy, but isn't wired like Jimmy Butler, isn't wired like, like a guy that you need. So what is he? I have no idea what this guy, yo, bitch. I have no idea what yo, bitch is actually like. And we're going to find out. Have no idea. We'll see. I just, it's one of the, none of us will know. But the good thing is he has all the characteristics that you're looking for. And this is what I told my buddy yesterday. You got to trust the Heat. They find guys that are undrafted. Man, Tyler has been a draft pick. Bam's been a draft pick. They've had some good draft picks also lately. So you've got to trust that they found something in him and that they now get to work and develop it. And by the way, we're going to be next month in the Vegas Summer League. We'll talk to Anthony Chiang at 10:30, but I would imagine, yo, bitch, is going to be over at the NBA Summer League in Vegas. So we'll find out. We'll find out. But I will trust the process because the Miami Heat deserve that you trust the process because that's what they've proven to us, that they're the kind of franchise that can find talent and can develop it and can find a place for it and all of that. So you needed a guy that was long. They sounded like they had conviction. They sounded like they loved him at 27, which I'm sure everybody that they grab at 15 or 27 or 42, they're going to tell us that they love him and that they were surprised he was available and that he's a perfect pick for them or whatever, right? I mean, that's what they're going to say. Perfect, dude. But yo, bitch, we'll find out. And by the way, we get to see yo, bitch in the Vegas Summer League, I would imagine, right, Sean? I mean, we'll talk to Chiang about that, but I'm looking forward to that. So I don't know, and we'll find out if we like the pick or not down the line because none of us really watch most of these guys. And that's what's changed about the draft. And especially for me, man, I saw Michael Jordan and Patrick Ewing and Dikembe Mutombo, and I don't care who it is, Khalid Reeves. You know what I mean? Willie Burton. I don't care who it is. I watched them for 3 or 4 years in the NBA. So then I know what Anderson Hunt or Larry Johnson or Charles Shackelford or whatever. I have a better feeling for who they are. When the Miami Heat drafted George Ackles in the second round, well, I watched George Ackles for 4 years at UNLV with Larry Johnson and Stacey Augmon and Anderson Hunt. So I knew who the second round pick was. But it's different now. We don't have NBA players staying in college for 3 to 4 years anymore. Now we have high schoolers jumping to the G League, high schoolers going to Europe, European high schoolers, European college kids or whatever, and we don't see them. We don't know them. We don't know anything about these cats. And that's what's completely changed about the NBA over the last 25 years compared to what I grew up with. So what I grew up with, we knew all the players in the only 2 rounds that existed. Hell, even in the early days of the Heat, when it went to 3 rounds, because Grant Long was a 3rd rounder, I believe, right? I think so. or maybe second round or third. I don't know. It was one of those. But I think the first year or two of the Heat in the league, I think there was like a third round or something. So you're looking at it and you're going, okay, well then, I knew the players back in those days. Now I don't know anything. I barely watch college basketball. I watch the University of Miami basketball team and then very little outside of that, quite frankly. College basketball does nothing for me anymore. It is slightly above high school basketball now. There are no stars. I get it that these kids are more gifted and skilled because athletes in today's world are more gifted and skilled because everything has advanced from training to diets and all that stuff. So we understand everything a lot more nowadays than we did 20, 40, and 80 years ago. So I get that the athletes are better, but they're still not the kind of stars that we used to have. They're still incredibly raw. They didn't get to work with Dean Smith for 4 years. Lou Carnesecca didn't get into him for 4 years. It's a huge difference when Denny Crum is teaching you for 4 years. Huge difference. So that has all changed for me. And that's where the draft has changed for most of us. And I almost talk about this practically every year whenever they do have a pick. And that's where we're at, that we really don't know these guys. Whereas we used to watch college kids for 3 or 4 years, and we watched them in pressure situations, in big games, in big moments, and you got a feel for the player. So the second he comes out of college and goes to the draft, you're like, yeah, dude, I watched that guy for 3 to 4 years. I know what he's all about. And it still wasn't an exact science, but at least you had more information. You felt better about it. Now, you don't know what the hell you're drafting. You have no idea what these kids are. And that's why we just have to trust these guys. We have to trust the Heat. And the beauty is the Heat isn't the Charlotte Hornets. They're not the Orlando Magic. They're not the Detroit Pistons. They can be trusted. They can be trusted to draft. They can be trusted to develop. They can be trusted to trade. They can be trusted to make all kinds of moves. So we can blindly follow the Heat. In hindsight, in the end, we'll decide after. Was it a good move? Was it not? Yeah, obviously. We get to play that game here all the time. But at this point, we're not going to know any better than they do. So we'll see if Nikola Jokic is any good. Big O, good morning. Do you know if the Dolphins training camp is going to be open to the fans this year? If so, it's the same format as last year. I have no idea. I'm sure it'll be open because obviously everything's going to be way more open than it was last year. But I have no idea if you're going to have to, get tickets for your training camp appearances, all of that. I'm sure the Dolphins will announce that. Remember, it's not till later on in July, middle July or something like 19, 20, whatever. So we'll find out then. They'll tell us the week before. You'll find out what you have to do. I'm sure they'll put out all that information. So we shall find out, Richard. Rosendo says, happy Friday. Forget all the negative things from the week and look forward to a great weekend. 6193, good morning, Big O and Sean. Looking forward to seeing the young talent play in the summer league. Yep. And I don't know about you, Sean, but I'm looking forward to seeing the what's that called? The atmosphere for summer league in Vegas. Like, it always looks like a really cool atmosphere because all the teams are there, fans for a lot of the different teams. I'm sure most of the West Coast teams.
Yeah, and then also the surprise visits by the players and the different things like that. So, yeah, I mean, that's more to me because, again, most of the guys you'll see a couple guys that will make the roster and might make a little bit of an impact, but most of them are gearing up for 2 years down the road, the future, not necessarily for next year. I mean, some of the rookies maybe make the roster. I don't think anybody makes impacts, but the atmosphere is definitely going to be something I'm looking forward to.
Oh, you better have that camera ready, buddy.
Yeah.
You're gonna be filming a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I wish
tune into the channel, both channels, this one and Big O Show Cuts, because he's going to be putting a lot of stuff from the Vegas Summer League up on both channels. So make sure you subscribe to both. You got to have that camera ready, buddy. I'm gonna have that recorder ready myself. So we'll try to get interviews for you guys. We'll have some fun. We're gonna do some stuff, man. This is one of the things that I'm obviously with your help, subscribing, visiting our sponsors, all that stuff, and all of it. Obviously, our incredible sponsors stepping up. But that's what this platform is going to be for you guys. We want to go to all the sporting events and cover them for you guys. Be the South Florida sports fan sitting in the Philippines, sitting in South Florida or in New York or in Atlanta or in California or Mexico or in Portugal. I don't care where you're at, but you're going to be on this ride with us, and we're going to take you to the East-West Shrine Game, to the Senior Bowl, to the Combine, to the Vegas Summer League, all these kind of things. If the Dolphins go to the Super Bowl, we'll be there. If the Heat go to the NBA Finals, we want to be there. If the Panthers go to the Stanley Cup Finals, we want to be there. All of these things, what you're never going to get anymore from local radio ever again, because they don't care. That's what we want to make this platform. So that's why we ask you for your support, because it's the only way that we're going to be able to do this. Trying to add a fantasy segment now, so working on that. So all kinds of stuff. We're going to add everything to it so that way it's complete. And you guys know. Danny Garcia, world-class boxer, going to join us at noon. Going to try to do everything that we can to, give you guys the flexibility. Let's see. Big O, how can a 7-foot man weigh 185 pounds? Did you see Kristaps Porzingis? Remember when he came out of college or whatever he came out of? I have no idea. The womb. I mean, are you kidding me? And he gained a little weight, but yeah, those guys are skinny. He's not remember, that post-up player, that's rare. The 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", 7-footer, 7'1", that knows how to work the post, that's few and far between, man. Like what Philly has in Joel Embiid, that is truly a rarity nowadays. Going back to what we talked about 30, 40, 50 years ago, that was the norm. You would find the big trees. We developed the big trees. We don't develop the big trees anymore. Instead of their backs to the basket, we want their faces to the basket. And we want them spotting up. And we want them stretching. And we want them putting it on the ground and being able to move. And you've got to be a little bit more agile. It's a different game. It's a faster game. So everything's kind of changed. You like my hat? Thank you, sir. You could get it at Keynesware, by the way. You can get they got a ton of hats for all kinds of teams there at keynesware.com. So go check it out. Tell them that we sent you. They will definitely take care of you. Tim Duncan stayed for 4 years. I wonder if any other first overall stayed for 4 years in recent history. No, that doesn't happen anymore. Those days are done. That's God, I don't even know who was the last guy that went number one that stayed for 4 years.
Can't remember, but I think now with the NIL, you might get a couple more that might start. Not saying it's going to be the norm.
They won't be the number one, because the number one will go to the G League right away or Europe or whatever to go get money. The NIL. Well, the NIL
now is. I mean, depending on.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. It could be. Could be a guy that. Yeah, no, because if we like Ruiz,
Yeah.
If there's like a absolute freaking stud, yeah, he can, but he'll still be a one and done.
Well, I mean,
because he'll go to the NBA.
I think you'll have more of a opportunity to keep somebody more than 1 year now.
Yeah, but it won't be 4, bro. It won't be. I don't
know
even
about
think it'll
4,
be. I don't
but-
even
but-
think it'll be 3. It's just Sean, man. It's just too much. It's too.
I don't
much.
think any of these college kids have the bodies to go up and make that change. Now, NBA has changed so much. There's not that athlete that can go in. Even I mean, if you look at it, Kobe struggled a little bit at the very beginning.
Yeah,
so he got his bearings under him.
Yeah. His first year,
LeBron was LeBron, but
no,
he was in
LeBron.
Cleveland.
Yeah, but LeBron was a freak.
But he was in Cleveland too, where it wasn't.
So was Shaq. Shaq, they were physically just like Chocolate Thunder. Back in the day, he came out of high school. He was ready because his body was just. Darryl Dawkins.
Okay. Yep.
Darryl Dawkins. Moses Malone was another guy that his body was already. So there are those freaks that their bodies developed, and that was a much more physical game than it is now. That's why I was saying that you might find a guy or two because the game is not nearly as physical as it used to be. Yeah. But it's just rare, man. It's hard to put those young kids in this kind of a position. Now, I just don't see them keeping a kid around for 3 or 4 years because of the injury risk and all of that. You want that long-term guaranteed money from the NBA. And the NIL's nice, but it's not the same kind of guarantees. You know what I mean?
I guess unless you're guaranteed to go in that top, 5, 10?
Yeah. And also you get to the NBA, you're also already building on your pension. So there's a lot of things that come to it that you want to get to the league as soon as possible, because then you're working on that second contract too as soon as possible too. I mean, there's just so many reasons why you won't stay 3 to 4 years anymore, business-wise. I'm just saying the money that comes with it. Because once you get to the NBA, then you've got all the other endorsement deals that come with it.
Yeah, maybe it's more the mid-fringe guys. The guys that, might be great players, but not in college. Like those guys will be your...
Remember, you're in college, you're getting the NILs, okay? But you're not getting a salary. It's kind of like what you're getting are endorsements. Well, you move on to the NBA, you get your salary and endorsements. So you get both. You know what I'm saying? So for business-wise, so many reasons fiscally, you cannot stay in college anymore that long, even if you are a star, because you want to move on to grow your brand outside of it. You want to get out of the college ranks. You want to get to the pros where you have more flexibility and you can build on your NFTs and you can build on your brand and you can shoe deal and you can start doing all kinds of other things.
Also, I think if you have the right people around you, you can do that. You can build that brand in college now. I mean, again, I get what you're saying with the thing, but think about this now with what's the guy eating his way out right now? Now he's
Zion.
Zion. If he would have stayed another year in college, maybe built up a little bit more, it would have been different than him going to the NBA and kind of getting forgot about.
You get coached by Coach K for 4 years or Dean Smith or whatever. Obviously, you're going to
change, but
you're going to be a hell of a player.
A lot of these players go in with, I'm only here for a year, so I'm not going to listen to what he's saying anyways.
Right.
I already know I'm the first pick in the NBA draft. I'm not listening to Coach K.
Right.
I'm only going to be here for a year. I'll do my time here, get through the practices, and then get picked by the NBA.
Amen.
That now, I think that mentality can change a little bit with the NILs, because now at least there's something there other than just trying to get to the NBA to get that quick money.
Yep, I'm with you there. By the way, redrecover.com. Go to the website, use our code Big O, and you're going to get 10% off. I've been talking about regrowing my hair. I showed you the pictures. I don't know if you still have the pictures of the before and after. I got to take a new one. Maybe I'll do that this weekend. I'll take the latest one to give you an update and show you the progress of my hair, and it's growing. And listen, redrecover.com is used by pro athletes. It's used by everyday people like you and me. It's great. It promotes, quicker recovery from workouts. It expedites the healing time in sprains and strains. And those of us, as we get older and we work out, we get those sprains and those strains. Whether you're pro, you're an amateur, or recreational athlete, redrecover.com is there for you, folks. They've got wearable red and infrared wraps in the market with 3 different light wavelengths to help you optimize recovery and performance. Red Recover is 100% natural, no side effects. That's what you're going to love about it. By the way, okay, whether you're young or old and you're dealing with runner's knees, golfer elbow, tennis elbow, or sore back, heal your body like the pros do. Learn to maximize your own body's healing power by going to redrecover.com. Enter the promo code Big O, get a 10% discount. Parents, by the way, your kids, they're playing competitive sports this summer. Well, it's more important than ever to make sure that they recover 100% naturally. So don't let that wear and tear of the summer games slow them down, or even worse, injure them. Help them achieve peak performance with redrecover.com. Your kids will feel better. You should try it. You got a little elbow issue, knee issue. Hell, it helps Sean out. He's got bone on bone. So it alleviates the pain for him and the discomfort, and it allows him to, walk around a little bit more and do his things. Go to redrecover.com. Find out, by the way, if you want the hat, I'm not sure if it's on the website yet. I know it was on back order. I haven't gone to the website, but they do have an email. You can reach out to them where it says contact us, so you can sign up, tell them that you want a hat or any of the other products. Remember, use our code Big O to get 10% off. Go to redrecover.com. By the way, I was driving in, and I was listening to my man Joe. He's 65 today, man. Happy birthday to Joe. I know he's wrapping it up finally here at the end of this year and retiring and stepping away. Let me tell you something about that dude. There are 2 people that have outworked everybody in the media business. Okay? Electronically, nobody is Joe Rose. Nobody. I work hard as hell, and I admire the way Joe, for a couple decades, was able to do the radio and the TV and balance it all and really go to games and really go to practices and travel and all of that. Not only is he one of the few former athletes that can actually do radio, he's also one of those guys that worked at it. Okay, because I've seen a lot of former athletes and they are not willing to put in the time. Well, Joe was willing to put in the time and the overtime for all of it. I've never seen anybody work harder in electronic. On the writing side, no offense to any of the guys out there, Barry Jackson's always been the guy. He's writing like 80 stories a day. He's at Dolphins camp one moment, at Canes camp another, at Heat camp the next day, Marlins, this, that. The guy is just absolutely amazing. But anyway, got to say to Joe, happy birthday, man. Happy 65th. And may you celebrate many, many, many more. And good for you. You're getting out of the damn business by the end of the year. So good for you. Good move. It's about time anyways. You've earned it, my brother, to relax and go enjoy your life. But happy birthday, Joe, man. Hope you have a great day and enjoy the family. Enjoy the weekend, my brother. Good stuff. All right. Jose says, Big O, Irving is that score we need. Let's get him before someone else does. We wouldn't want to give up Jimmy or Bam. I just don't buy Kyrie Irving, my brother. I don't think he has. I don't think he's a Heat player whatsoever. And I know Mark Stein reported that the Miami Heat could be interested in Kyrie Irving, and Mark Stein does an excellent job. So I'm not gonna, Mark is not one of those guys that just throws crap up in the air and hopes some of it sticks, like some websites do. I give him, his props, and I'm sure the Heat probably do have some kind of interest where they've got to kind of like reach out to him and say, okay, listen, we're interested, but we're interested if you're willing to do this, probably. And that's where I'm sure he'll balk and he'll hem and haw and all that. And I don't think Kyrie Irving really wants to be a Heat player. that requires real commitment to your team. Remember what I was talking about? What was it, like 2 days ago or yesterday? I forgot what it was. And I was telling you that I'd be pissed if Kyrie Irving did not take the vaccine. Like, in regular life, you don't want to take the vaccine. That's fine, man. That's your choice. I respect that. That's great. No problem. It's your body. You take the chance. No problem. Okay. Because, for me, it's a vaccine. It's silly. We took it all the time for measles. It's the only way you could go to school. We've had vaccines forever. It's not a big deal. So I know some of you make it a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal. But like I told you, if I'm on the Nets and I'm on a team, not the Charlotte Hornets, not the Detroit Pistons, because I did this yesterday on Twitter with some guy who reached out to me. You really would go after a teammate that wouldn't take the shot? And I said, yeah, I would. If I'm in this championship-like situation, you damn right I would be pissed at a guy that doesn't want to take the shot. Hails to the I would be pissed at Kyrie Irving. Yes. Yes, I would. Now, in a regular setting, no, that's your choice. I respect that. On a shitty team, we're part of the, I don't know, whatever, the Charlotte Hornets, the Detroit Pistons. You don't want to take the shot. Who cares, bro? Our front office doesn't even know how to build a winning team anyways. Go ahead. But I'm on a Heat squad. I'm on the Warriors. I'm on the Sixers, and you don't want to take it. Oh, dude, I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed. I'd be calling your ass out. Let's go. Yeah. So it requires a dedication to be a Heat player. I don't believe he has that. I don't believe he has that at all in him. I just think he's so gifted that he can just do what he does. And he's that good. But I don't think that in his heart, his character, he doesn't have the will to want to work and strive to build something and build it with others. And the fact that you're going to count on them, they're going to count on you. So you've got to come through for each other in every way, which is what I was just talking about before. So you find a way to help your teammate win. You find a way to help your team win. Doesn't matter what you got to do. You find a way to win. I don't think he has that. I just don't. I don't think he's the guy that's going to play hurt like Jimmy Butler or Alonzo Mourning, who had to play with plantar fasciitis. Jason Taylor 1 year was playing with plantar fasciitis. Do you have any idea what it's like to play as a defensive end with plantar fasciitis? I saw Tim Hardaway play point guard with plantar fasciitis until he completely tore off his foot, and he had no choice that he had to then obviously take the rest of the year off. But meanwhile, while it was tearing off from the bottom of his foot, creating all kinds of pain and discomfort, he's sacrificing. I don't believe Kyrie Irving would do that. If he wouldn't take a vaccine, how's he going to play injured? How's he going to, ultimately sacrifice for his team in every way, shape, and form? He won't. So I don't believe he's a Heat player. And sure, the Heat might have some interest, but I'm sure it's going to go with the caveat of, hey, Kyrie, we'd love to have you here, but this, and this that's happened in the past will not fly here. And maybe it's not to Kyrie, it's to his agent. He tells, hey, listen, we like him, but we can't have this shit go on and this shit go on and this shit go on. That doesn't happen here. We don't do that. We don't tolerate that. And that's where the sand and the line in the sand is going to be drawn, and he's not going to get it done. Can you give Anthony a heads up there? So it's just one of those deals where I just don't feel that that's a guy that is built to be a Miami Heat player. So they can report it. I would think it's a terrible move if you add Kyrie Irving, because even the Heat, I don't believe, can change a flake like that. Plantar fasciitis is like having a nail slammed in your heel every step. It's awful. I know. Those guys, they described it to me perfectly. I covered them every day talking about that. And I still remember to this day that Hardaway would come out of the game, right? And he'd go to the locker room and he'd sit down and he'd put his foot on this little base, and the base was on this half circle that it would teeter like this, and he would have to do that while he was talking to us because I don't know, it was some kind of treatment for the plantar fasciitis or something. And you're just like, what a tough son of a bitch. Point guard, Jason Taylor, a defensive end. Do you know the change of directions you have to make in that position? I mean, it's not like you're just running a straight line, which still painful, but it's even more painful. And you've got to cut. And you got to dig into the ground and push on an offensive lineman. And you're like, Jason, how are you playing with plantar fasciitis? You're like, what the hell are you doing? I mean, I saw Jason Taylor one year where he was playing with one shoulder, dude. You know? It takes... I was standing once on the sideline, and Zach Thomas effed up his neck against the Bills. And this was back in the day when they used to allow the media down onto the field with the final 6 minutes of the NFL game. Believe that? Back in the day? No, how about this? When I used to cover the University of Miami, they would allow the media down there all 4 quarters. You would stay up in the press box most of the time, but if I felt like going downstairs and hanging out for an entire quarter, I could hang out for an entire quarter on the sidelines. Back in the day. That's the kind of access I used to have. It was great. Nowadays, they have no access, pretty much. Anyway, so it's just I'm standing there, right, and Zach F's up his neck. And I always used to stand as close as I could to the benches, that final line that they would draw, that's where the media or anybody else could stand. That's exactly where I stood because it was the closest to get any information from the sidelines. And sure enough, I was like maybe 8 feet away from where Zach Thomas was standing. Trainer comes over, oh no, I got my neck and this, that, whatever. And you know, the trainer's kind of like working on it and this and that. And Zach's like, no, I'm good. And meanwhile, he's good, but he's all like messed up. And there's a change of possessions. That son of a bitch runs right back out there. Effed up neck. He can barely move it. He's the middle effing linebacker. Okay? So when I'm telling you Tim Hardaway's playing with plantar fasciitis, okay, and getting treatment after a game until it freaking tears off, I'm telling you, Jason Taylor's doing it. I saw Ed Perry once blow out a knee ligament. Comes off the field. The trainer's looking, he goes, yeah. And I couldn't tell what they were saying, but he was looking at him like, yeah. Change of possessions. They need a field goal. Ed effing Perry runs right back out onto the field with a blown knee ligament. Long snaps it on a dime, field goal, perfect. They win the game. You tell me Kyrie's going to sacrifice? Kiss my ass. Anthony Chiang and our liquor split Miami Heat report is next.
Let's tap into the latest with the Miami Heat and our liquor split app Miami Heat reports with insider Anthony Chiang. Liquor Split is Miami's own online liquor store. Download, then tap the app and get your favorite liquor delivered to you for just $2.99. No risk, no drinking and driving. Tap that app with Liquor Split. Here's Anthony Chiang.
Right, Anthony. Let's talk a little Heat. We'll get to the draft in just a minute. I was just talking about the Steinline report from yesterday that the Heat could have some interest in Kyrie, and you and I have talked about this, and I've told you how stoned I think Ira is, thinking that I think it's Ira Spicoli now is what I'm going to call him. for Kyrie Irving. And I was talking about this, and I know it gets a little political. I don't mind if you don't want to take your vaccine. That's your choice. That's fine. I'm on the Charlotte Hornets. You don't want to take a vaccine, or the Washington Wizards, or the Detroit Pistons. I'm good. Now, I'm playing for the Heat. I'm playing for the Sixers. I'm playing for the Golden State Warriors. I'm playing for a contender, and you don't want to take the vaccine. I'm pissed. I'm pissed because you're not helping us win. You're not sacrificing. And when I look at Kyrie Irving, I don't see a player that is going to sacrifice for his team all the way. And I talked a little bit about this. I covered Tim Hardaway while he had plantar fasciitis, and he was playing with plantar fasciitis until it completely finally tore off his foot. You know what I mean? I saw Jason Taylor play with plantar fasciitis. I saw Ed Perry blow out a knee ligament and go back out onto the field and snap a ball on a dime for a key field goal to win a game. You know, I've seen players get all effed up and still go out there and play the game hurt. Like we saw Bam come back hurt a couple of years ago. We saw Goran come back hurt a couple of years ago. It takes a certain dedication to be a part of this team in many different ways. I'm not exactly sure that you're going to get that kind of dedication from Kyrie Irving like I've seen from other Heat players in the past. Your thoughts on that?
I mean, how could you argue against that? He hasn't been available much recently, right? So how could you have any sense of security if you acquire him and believe that he's going to play 70 plus games? You know, I mean, is it possible? Sure. I mean, obviously it's possible, but I think that's the huge question. If he would have played 75 games last season, there would be, 29 other teams in line waiting to trade for him. But right now, I think that's the concern with any team that's looking or interested in him is how many games is he going to play? How committed is he going to be? And honestly, I think Kyrie is, again, one of the most gifted players in the league. One-on-one, you could argue he's the best ISO player in the NBA. He can get you a bucket in any situation. He will make pretty much any team better when he's right. But you don't know if he's going to be available, and that's huge. So, yeah, I agree with you in that sense that
I'm watching Butler and Tucker. They're all effed up, dude.
Right.
And they continue to fight through, and Tucker's 800 years old. And he will, and you will sign him and you will give him the 3-year contract. And you know that third year will probably be absolutely
sure, he's going to be 40 years old. Yeah.
Right. But if he can play at 40, that mother effer will be out there dragging his ass out there, giving you everything that he's got. And you honor things like that. You will fight for things like, and the Heat honor things like that. You know what I mean? Because we've watched those guys. We watched Alonzo Mourning get a freaking kidney replaced, dude, and then come back and show the kind of fire to go help and be the most important center in the 06 championship, by the way. Just want you to know that because you go back and watch those 6 games against Dallas. The most important center was Alonzo Mourning, not Shaquille O'Neal, actually. So, I've just watched this over and over again over the years with so many different players. I remember Radek Dvorak. So I'm covering the Panthers, and one of those he gets smashed into the wall. So I don't know if you've covered hockey, but in the middle, in the intermission periods, they'll hand you a sheet about who's injured and what the injury update is.
Mm-hmm.
And it says Radek Dvorak, lost tooth, bruised jaw, broken nose, lacerated face.
Available.
Right. Return probable. Mother effer was, and by the way, back in those days, I bet you he suffered a concussion with the shot he took when he broke his nose and everything against the glass, and he had a bruised jaw, lost teeth. That mother effer suffered a concussion. But this was 20 years ago, where they go, all right, yeah, I'm ready to go. That kind of shit. So it says probable return. I don't think people realize what these guys go through sometimes.
Yeah. Well, hockey's different too. You can't even compare the NBA to hockey. Hockey is different.
No. Hey, but you're gonna tell me that you're gonna tell me that Jimmy Butler couldn't play hockey, right? Jimmy Butler's the kind of toughness that you need in hockey. Is what I'm saying. And he'll go out there and he'll play injured, and that's my problem with Kyrie Irving. I don't see a man that is truly selling out for his team. I understand everything about the talent. I don't think only an idiot would argue his talent. Can't argue his talent.
Yeah.
But his commitment, and to me, that's half the battle with the Miami Heat, my brother.
Yeah,
and you're committed, you won't work in the ticket office if you're not committed, my brother.
Yeah. And it's not even injuries, Big O, right? I mean, he really didn't miss many games for injuries last year. It was the vaccine issue, different personal things, personal leave because of various reasons. There really weren't injuries. It was other issues. So I mean, I know that Mark Stein is very credible. Is believed to have a level of interest is a very kind of vague term. I mean, yeah, of course, if the Nets will take, Duncan Robinson and some other cap filler, and yeah, of course he would be interested. But the question is, would they give up Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, and Kyle Lowry for him and a first-round pick?
No,
it's hard to believe, honestly. For me, I mean, I'm not saying I'm not. This is me just my belief right now. That's hard to believe, personally. That's my opinion.
I would come on the next day and say Pat Riley has lost his mind. That's what I would say right after that.
Yeah, and you look at Adrian Wojnarowski from ESPN. He's reporting the Lakers, the Knicks, the Clippers, the Heat just aren't popping up. Yes, Kyrie probably is interested in going to Miami. Why not? They're a great team. They have a good organization, good city. He was interested back when he was trying to get out of Cleveland in Miami. Miami was also on the list then. But it doesn't necessarily mean the Heat are that interested, right? So I think we have to take a step back, see how this plays out. I still feel like the most probable outcome is Kyrie goes back to Brooklyn. Yeah.
No, but does Kyrie know that we have rising tides here? Because that might not allow him to play. That, the tides are a little too high. And, Las Olas and people in Miami Beach are suffering some flooding. That might cause Kyrie to say, oh, there's too much flooding going on in South Florida. It's on my mind. I can't play. I don't know if he knows that, we have some effects here going on in South Florida from rising tides. So I don't know,
You can find something everywhere these days, right? In any city, you could find something. But I was gonna say, I think the most probable outcome is he ends up back in Brooklyn. I see this as a leverage play, right? He's trying to get the most money out of Brooklyn. He's trying to back them into a corner. Now, obviously, the Durant storyline of if Kyrie leaves, Durant's gonna leave. It's putting a lot of pressure on Brooklyn to get this done. And I think it's gonna end up with probably Brooklyn coming to making concession and kind of conceding to Kyrie, and both those guys will be back next season there.
How about this? If you're Brooklyn's front office, you're saying, well, if they're going to pull a power play on us, we already know what this does for us. This doesn't pay off for us. So why are we going to get on the same ride over and over again? I mean, the definition of insanity is actually, doing the same thing over and over again. So really, if you're the Nets, as painful as it might be, maybe you do have to say, well, dude, if you're pissed off too, we'll trade you also. And then you could get the world for Durant at least.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So at least you're going to get a ton in return to try to then revitalize this team and push it in another direction, because bringing Durant and Kyrie back you already know what that blueprint is. That doesn't work. So why would you try to do this all over again? And not only that, you would then have to lock it up in a position that you could never get out again. Because once you give Kyrie that long-term deal and he flakes out on you one more time, nobody will ever pick up that contract ever again. So now you're stuck with the life of that contract. And you're now John Walling it like they are now, in
Houston. Yeah,
in Houston, where now they've got to talk finally about a buyout here in his final year.
Yeah.
So they could get him out of hell. He didn't even play last year. They didn't even want to risk it. You know what I mean? So now they've got an opportunity to get a buyout and get him the hell out. So don't you think that maybe there's a chance here that this whole thing is going to get blown up in Brooklyn now instead?
Yeah, I guess it's possible, but I think if Brooklyn looks at it, they'll try to justify it as Kyrie barely didn't play last year. James Harden was an issue. He got traded. We didn't have James Harden for most of the season. If Kyrie's available, if Ben Simmons is available, and Kevin Durant is healthy, I mean, they were an inch away from making the NBA Finals 2 years ago, right? With just Kyrie and KD. James Harden wasn't even available. He was injured. Oh, no, sorry. I think Kyrie was out, actually. James Harden was available, but he was, very limited with a hamstring injury. So I think they probably will say, if we have two of those three guys available, we're one of the best teams in the East. Whether that's right or not, I'm sure they still believe that, because last year was such a weird season for them. It really was. It's hard to base anything off of it. But there are so many question marks around Kyrie Irving, so many question marks around Ben Simmons, that it's hard to really project anything, because you just don't know with those two guys how many games they'll be able to play.
Let me ask you something. Kyrie Irving, head case. Ben Simmons, head case. Kevin Durant, head case. Are the Nets a basketball team or a psych ward?
It'd be interesting to cover. A team that's interesting to cover, that's for sure.
Really?
A lot of storylines, right? I'm sure they get a lot of...
I know. It's just, I've had a lot of those shitty storylines here in South Florida over the years.
Right.
They're not fun, bro. They're not. I mean, maybe it's because I'm a hometown guy, right, and I really want the teams to win. Sure, I'll be brutally honest and I'll tell you, hey, this team's not good. That coach doesn't deserve it. That player's not good enough. I'll tell you brutally honest what I think about a team, but deep down inside, I want them all to win and have good times. And it's a lot. Dude, I've been at this a long time, Anthony. It's a lot more fun walking into locker rooms that are winning and things are going well.
Oh, definitely.
The vibe is so much better. The players will talk. The coaches are a little looser.
Yeah.
Everything's when there's chaos and turmoil and all that, everybody clams up. Everybody becomes a jerk. Everybody gets uptight. The job of the media is near impossible. You become the enemy. The fans are frustrated. It's not fun, dude. I mean, when people tell you, oh, no, controversy is good for you guys. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but personally for me, it's not fun, man.
For sure. Yeah. No, there's no doubt about that. It's always the job is easier when the team is winning. There's no doubt.
Yeah. I like it when it's a good vibe, man.
Yeah. But you want to either be really good, right? Like they were this year, or I guess kind of what the Nets are. You just don't want to be in the middle where nobody cares.
Yeah, I've covered both. I've been in the great locker rooms. I've been in the shitty locker rooms. I've been in the championship locker rooms. I've been in the losing locker rooms, and I could deal with the losing locker room. I can deal with a loss. I can deal with winning and all that. But then when you start getting into the bully gates and money laundering, and you start getting into all kind of domestic violence and sexual assault, and you start getting into all those kind of things, it's just it's not fun anymore. It's not sports anymore. You know what I mean?
No,
that's that to me. So covering Brooklyn, you know what? I feel bad for the fans, because you've been so terrible for so long. Then you had the Russian owner that you thought he was going to get it on track, and he was all bravado, and it didn't work out. And then now it looked like you maybe were trying to put together the right thing, and this whole thing's blown up, and you may be even forced to get rid of your top two stars. I mean, being a Nets fan, my brother, wow, that's torturous right there.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, they obviously had high hopes 3 years ago when they put this team together, and I mean, there's a chance this offseason it could come crashing down, So, yeah, I'm sure it's not – 3 years ago would have been fun to be a Nets fan, but right now, not so fun.
All right, well, 25, 35 years ago, when we used to go into the draft, it was great. It was fun because we'd seen these guys 3-4 years. We knew what the hell we were getting and all that. You know, I was talking about this years ago when the Heat drafted George Ackles in the second round. I watched George Ackles for 4 years run with Larry Johnson and Stacey Augmon and Anderson Hunt and go up against Dukes 2 straight years and all that. And that was like, you know, amazing. So I knew who the hell George Ackles was. You know, nowadays you don't know who the second pick of the overall draft is. Forget the second round. So I'm not going to ask you, yo, bitch, because that's what I'm going to call him now, Nicola. Yo, bitch. I'm not going to ask you what Nicola is because you don't know anything about Nicola. But
I was watching Serbian basketball all year. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, break it down, Serbian. No, but one thing I when I'm watching Pat Riley, I can rewind over the years for 25 years. And anytime he's talking about defense and long, he loves it, dude. It doesn't matter who it is, from the Lamar Odom days or whatever. He loves his players being long. And so that's one of the things he talked about with that kid yesterday.
Yeah, and I mean, I think they have hope that he can be a plus defender, right? It's not his strength right now. He needs to add weight. He's 19 years old. He needs to learn how to play defense in the NBA. But the thing that really sold him, it seems like, you talk to Adam Simon, who's assistant general manager and is kind of the head of the, of the scouting team that prepares for the draft, and obviously Pat Riley, and they pointed to his skill set offensively. He's very gifted, like very talented, a guy who was a guard growing up, and then grew 7-8 inches, and now is 6'11". He has a good handle. He knocks down threes, good catch and shoot player. Can drive by guys, can play in the open court, is a good passer. So offensively, he's very talented. And I think that's what really sold the Heat. And Pat did say he's a developmental player. So I don't know if it's fair to expect him to contribute consistently next year as a 19-year-old in the NBA. It might take him a few years. He might play a few games here and there, but the 27th pick, right? I mean, it's like you can't expect to get a guy who's going to be, your sixth man at number 27. So I think it was an upside pick, and they'll hope that he turns into a guy that they could, rely on maybe in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, or maybe also a guy that they know several teams are interested in.
That too, sure. Yeah.
So it might be something part of a mixer in the future too at the same time. And by the way, will we see him next month when we're in Vegas?
I believe so. Obviously, it's still early. I haven't confirmed yet. He hasn't even made his way into Miami yet, but I believe that's the plan for him to play in Summer League. So we should get our first shot to look at him and watch him play and get to learn about him a little bit more in a few weeks.
Yeah, that'll be cool. All right, good. I get to see him. I'm looking forward to seeing what the vibe is in the Vegas Summer League, man, because it always, from afar, it looks like Vegas is vibing because there's so many fans from all over the league. There, I'm sure, especially on the West Coast, a lot of fans are going over there overall, and then obviously a ton of media members and NBA people. So it looks like Vegas is vibing during that time.
Yeah, you're walking through casinos and there's just NBA players just randomly walking around. It's like the entire NBA world is there. It's pretty fun.
Okay. All right, good. So I have to have my recorder ready at all times, is what you're saying.
Pretty much. You can run into anybody at any point that week for sure.
All right, I'll sit down in a blackjack table with one of the players and do an interview right in the middle of the blackjack table.
Yeah. I'm sure the dealer would like that.
What are you working on over at the Herald, my brother, so folks can check you out?
We have a running list right now of the undrafted guys the Heat have received commitments from. Obviously, they're trying to build their summer league roster. The hours after the draft, the day after the draft, is all about getting your top undrafted guys, or as many as you can, to play in summer league with you. Obviously, the Heat has had a lot of success with that, so that's something that's up on the website. And also, just more info on Nikola Jovic. I have another story on him. We talked to Adam Simon last night, who again scouted this kid. Probably knows more about him than everybody in the organization. And I'll have a story on that later as well at MiamiHerald.com.
Yeah, and that's what a buddy of mine asked me yesterday. Well, what do you know? I go, I don't know shit about this guy, bro. I don't know anything. Yeah. All I know is I trust the Heat.
Sure.
And that's it. More often than not, they're going to get it right. more often than not, they'll get the most out of players. They're not going to be perfect because nobody's perfect, but damn, they're really good. So more often than not, they're going to get it right. So they must see something in this kid that they like, and they're going to develop. And by the way, we need a stretch four.
Yeah, so, he fits. Yeah, he fits. And he hasn't look he's you've seen what he have done with undrafted players that might not be as talented. This kid is talented. He has a very good base of a skill set, and started playing basketball at 13. He's 19. Late bloomer. He's gonna get better. He's gonna grow into his body. He's already a very gifted offensive player. So let's see what the developmental program can do with this type of talent. It'll be interesting to see.
Let's find out. All right, follow him on Twitter at Anthony_Chiang. And, of course, you better subscribe there to the Miami Herald and support him out there. Anthony, as always, thank you, my brother. We'll catch up next week. Have a fantastic weekend.
You too, Big O. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. There you go, the great Anthony Chiang. And don't forget Liquor Split, a flat fee of $2.99. That is Miami's liquor store. Download the app, iOS or Android, Liquor Split. This weekend, you're drinking, you're hanging out. Don't get behind the wheel. Stay at home, stay in the office, stay in the meeting. Pick up your app, hit it. And, of course, order it, baby. A little extra wine, some beer, some whiskey, some vodka, you name it, some snacks. They've got it all there at liquorsplit.com. Tap that app. That's your Liquor Split Miami Heat report.
You're now tapped into the latest with the Miami Heat. This has been the Miami Heat Liquor Split Report with insider Anthony Chiang. Download the Liquor Split app and enjoy your favorite drinks at wholesale prices. Delivered right to your door in minutes with a flat fee of $2.99. VIP lifestyle without the VIP prices. Tap that app with Liquor Split.
Yeah, baby. Hey, look, Mike learned something. He says, I never realized that getting a COVID vaccine would allow a basketball team to win more games. Yeah, because if you have the vaccine, you actually play, Mike. Wow, isn't that a concept? You know, Kyrie Irving on the basketball court, you have a chance to win a game more than Kyrie Irving off the basketball court. Wow. I you know, at least we helped Mike out with some logic. Poor guy. He couldn't figure that out. He didn't figure out that with Kyrie Irving on the court, you can win, and without him, you can't. Yeah, Mike. But, hey, we're glad we can help you out, Mikey. You're struggling there. You know, it's, 1-1 is probably a real struggle for you. Walking and chewing gum for Mike is probably a struggle for him. The real question is, will the rookie develop in time? No, too extreme. No. Don't even count on that rookie to help you out this year. You'll be happy if he can contribute off the bench next year. Not this coming season, the 2020, the 2023-2024 season. You hope he can come off the bench then at that point. Next year is a wasted year for him. He'll barely play. He'll play on those routes where Miami gets routed or Miami routes somebody and they'll throw him out there for a couple minutes at the end of a game or something like that. He'll get Alan Ogg, rest in peace, Alan Ogg type minutes at the end of a game next year. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if his ass is actually in the G League the whole year playing. That actually would, you know what? I don't think he'll be on the roster next year. I think he'll be in the G League playing the entire time because you're trying to make a playoff and a championship run. You don't have time to develop a kid right now. So unless they have a whole ton of injuries or they had to trade a whole ton of guys because they brought in a star or something, I don't think they need him at all. So let's see. What else do we have? Pat in Nashville says, Roe versus Wade overturned by the Supreme Court. 40% of the populace wanted this, and they got their wish. Yeah, well, it's going backwards. It is what it is. That's where I give this guy, our governor, credit. You can agree and disagree with people, man. It's not a big deal. But I think he had an abortion at 15 weeks, which I think it's more than fair. I think that's perfect. But to limit a woman, that's ridiculous. As I told you, there's that group of people They're saying, no, you can't tell me to wear a mask, but I'll tell you, you can't have an abortion. So it's like, it's funny. That's our world. Let's see. What else do we have here? I had plantar fasciitis. It took almost a year to heal. Plantar hurts mostly for the first 100 steps, then not as bad until you sit down and stop stretching. That's probably why he was doing that little rocker while he was talking to us. You just helped me out because he was stretching it the entire time while he was talking. So it probably would alleviate the pain. So he didn't just sit there and put his foot down and just talk to us. Thank you very much, Pat. I just put one and one together now on what Tim Hardaway was doing, because maybe I asked him and I forgot back because this was so long ago, dude. God. Daniel, which crypto should I buy now? Right now, it's not a financial advisor. Okay. You do what you want. What I'm doing, loading up and continue to load up on my Bitcoin and Ethereum. Load up. I'm loading up on some other altcoins too. But, like Cardano, I continue to load. Oh my God, Cardano and Polygon, I have loaded up. But the safe way to go right now is all Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. Oof. Load it up, dude. That's what I'm doing. Let's see. I'm just nervous that Pat is washed and will decide to run it back. Why would you say Pat is washed? We just saw them. They're one game from the NBA Finals, dude. How is Pat washed? The team is still one of the best franchises in the NBA. You're washed, my brother, when you're in the bottom, when you're a middle of the run team or something on a consistent basis. That doesn't happen to the Heat. Let's check inventory here. Last 3 years, they've been to the finals, the Eastern Conference. I'm not sure, let me explain what you're doing right now, okay? Jose, you're doing what we did to Don Shula. Be careful the path you're going on. Pat Riley is not washed. Far from washed. He's exceptional. He's still one of the best. Is he going to make mistakes? They all make mistakes because they're all human beings. And Pat is no different. But I'll take Pat Riley over everybody every day of the week and twice on Sundays. All right? So there's no way Pat is the results, my man. All right, let's get ready here. Manny Navarro is ready to join us. Hour number 2 is next with our keynesware Miami Hurricanes report.
For over 25 years, South Floridians have counted on Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises for their roofing needs. In South Florida, we battle the sweltering heat, rain, winds, and all kinds of tropical storms. That's why when it comes to protecting your family, home, or business, call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com. 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411 and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs. All work fully guaranteed with the customer's complete satisfaction. A+ rated member of the Better Business Bureau. Licensed and insured. There's no buts about it. When your roof needs repair or replacement, go to TommyBButtsJrEnterprises.com. A certified widening contractor.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's keynesware at Miami Fanware in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at keynesware.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Keynesware, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Keynesware Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro. Exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
And that is Manny Navarro.
What's up, man?
You feeling good?
Yeah, man. Feeling good. Getting ready for tomorrow's Legends Camp down at UM. I'll be down there early in the morning. Mario likes to do it bright and early. It used to be at night. Now it's one of these bright and early morning things because that's the way he operates. So be down in Coral Gables bright and early, man.
If you had a quart of Cuban coffee at 6 in the morning, you'd be all legal coked out for like 18 straight hours. That's what that guy does.
That's what he does. Yeah.
He has a quart of Cuban coffee, and he has so much energy in his body that the guy can't go to sleep till 2 in the morning again, and then wake up at 5 again.
Yeah, I don't know how these guys operate, man, but I need my sleep. Oh, I don't know about you. I'm not the kind of guy who likes early mornings. Usually because I'm up late working, so it's very hard for me to do both. But hey, more power to him.
I feel like Mario lately. I got to tell you, because I was just talking with Sean about this.
Yeah.
So we ended the onside thing right on June 1st.
Mm-hmm.
I restarted the podcast on the 14th. So I kind of like took 2 weeks off because I was so frustrated and pissed with, you put your life's work into something and, whatever. So, you kind of like reset and I haven't taken a vacation yet.
Wow.
I've gone over a year straight now. I haven't been off I've gone every day. I've been on every freaking day for the whole year. I have not taken a day off yet. You know what I mean?
Got to recharge, brother.
I know, but I have to restart and rebuild this whole thing.
Yeah.
So, now we're moving. I was telling Sean this second year here, we're going to have to, learn to take a break here or two or whatever, He hasn't been on for the whole year yet. When did you start? You started like in August, right? Or something like that? Or September? Yeah. So he was helping out like in August or September. So, but yeah, it's just one of those deals, dude. Like, fuck, man. Damn, it's a grind, bro. It is a grind,
It is a grind, man. No question.
I just realized that. I looked at him and go, man, I didn't take I worked a whole straight year without like no weeks off, nothing. It's like, it's crazy stuff. So walk us through this all-star camp. What's it called again?
The Legends Camp.
Legends Camp.
Yeah. Well,
walk the fans through what this is all about and what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, I mean, this has basically been going on since Mark Richt arrived, where they bring back all of the famous alumni, the Michael Irvins, the Bryant McKinneys, the John Beesons, Lamar Thomas, Kenny Phillips, Jeremy Shockey. Those are the regular guys who were always there. I mean, there's probably going to be a group, I'd say, between 10 and 15 former players. And they go out there and they run a bunch of high school kids through drills, and talk to them and inspire them. And, it's kind of a really cool thing. And a lot of the best recruits in the country want to come down and be a part of this, right? Because the youth history is so rich and so many great players. And so they want to come down and kind of hang out with them. And so it turned into a recruiting event, right? It turns into that because of who's here. And the month of June, and just in the last couple of years has really become, I would say, the most important recruiting month, particular month. Okay. I'm talking about a whole month because of how many weekends in a row you have visitors. Mm-hmm. And this is a big weekend for Miami. They've got a ton of kids down here visiting that have been coming since the beginning of the week and wrapping up with a big weekend. So it's an important time to make an impression, especially for out-of-state kids, because what happens is the out-of-state kids go back home and they get ready for their football season, and they don't really travel much during the season. So
right.
This is the time to make those impressions. You get the hometown kids can come by all year long, but the out-of-state, this is kind of it before we get to December and January and February. So I think that it's just a big weekend, and it'll be fun to see Mario kind of. This is his first time back really running this thing, right? I mean, he wasn't around. The last time he was here, he was without Golden for a couple of weeks. Now this is his show. This is his presentation, and so we'll get to see him operate and put a finishing touch on this month.
Maybe a little bit of an unfair question, but Mark Richt did it, then Manny Diaz did it, and now Mario's doing it. What's different the way Mario's doing it compared to anybody else? Do you have any insight on that, or
no?
Find out till this weekend.
No, I don't think it's really that different, to be honest. There's only so much the rules allow you to do, right? With these kids, like I think Mario's focus really more than anything else is to just sort of reestablish,
connect,
and connect, and to say to these kids, the school's spending money, dude. Like we're trying to catch up to everybody else now, and this is our huge staff, and this is our great tradition. Come be a part of this. Come help us make this right. Where I think when years past, when kids came here, yeah, it was cool to come and work out in the indoor practice facility and see some of the former players, but it's a different operation now, right? I mean, it's just the amount of people involved. Alonzo Highsmith being involved, Ed Reed being, all the people that are involved. It's a different operation, a different feel with Mario in charge now. So I think that's what he's going to try to do. And again, you and I have talked about this in the show in the past. He spent the last 5 years on the other side of the country, right, at Oregon. So this is more about relationships, and just reminding people, hey, I got a 10-year, $80 million contract. I'm here for the long haul.
What do you notice in Mario different after dealing with him now compared to you've dealt with him in the past when he was at FIU, or even if you ran into him in his Oregon days? What do you notice differently now?
He's older. I mean, he's wiser. When I talked to him a couple of weeks back on a Zoom call, he needed a couple minutes to adjust his back, because of the seat. And he just says, man, it goes between the MMA and the football, bro. He's like, and it's just kind of a reminder that this isn't the spry, muscular built, Mario that I remember back in the day, right? Who didn't really complain about. Now he's 51, man. Now he's lived life. He's had his wins and his losses, and he knows what it takes to win. And he's just wiser. He's just a guy who I think has been around the block so many times that he's not going to fall for the BS, right? I mean, he knows he could smell the BS coming a mile away when it comes to some of these kids and some of the people around them. So I think he's going to be a better judge of character. He was already very good at it. I think he's even better now. And I think he's driven to make this work, man. Like, this is his life dream, coming home and being the coach at Miami. And, he can help put the program back where nobody has in 20 something years. He's got that ability, he's learned from the best. So that's what I think of Mario. And I think also he's, softened up a little bit. And I wouldn't say to the extent that he's going to accept anything less than somebody's best effort. But I also think, he was a little bit more charged, a little bit crazier in the beginning. I think a little bit more intimidating, right? As a former player who wanted to kick your butt if you didn't do things right, tear up a desk or throw it against the wall, or like that's not him anymore. I think he's a little bit more chill than that now. So I think that's who Mario is now, and he's the right guy for the job. He might be the only guy for the job. I mean, if this doesn't work with him, I'm not sure where you go next.
Oh, no, yeah, I know. Listen, the one thing I've picked on the university for many years for being cheap and not going over the top. There's no more of that. They're trying now. Now, whether it works or not, we'll find out. And I know a lot of us were hoping it works, obviously, but we have to tip our hats to the University of Miami You know, they finally made the commitment to football that they needed to make for the last couple of decades, and they were failing to make, and that's why they fell behind, and that's why they weren't in any impactful moments in college football anymore. They weren't an impactful program anymore in college football. It was only by stature. It was only by the logo and the image that they created decades before. That's what they were living off of. But now they're giving themselves a chance to reestablish themselves and become a part of that championship college football fabric. So I commend, the president and the board and everybody else that's involved with the University of Miami for finally making the commitment that they're supposed to make. And I think we all should be happy with that. And hopefully it does work, because you couldn't have picked a more perfect person to do it. A former player, a guy that's from here, understands it, lives it, loves it, breathes it. And so this is the kind of person that you want succeeding here, because this is the kind of lifer that you were never able to ever get, because all the other guys that came wanted to use it as a stepping stone to go to the pros. From Schnellenberger to Butch to Jimmy to Erickson, they all wanted to use it as a stepping stone to get to the next level. That's what the University of Miami program was, because they knew that there was never that Alabama, Ohio State, Nebraska, Oklahoma crazy ass commitment. Now you've got that crazy ass commitment. Now you've got your chance to, get your own Dabo Sweeney, your own Nick Saban, and hopefully this is the guy that makes it happen, man. That's it. Now you've created the environment to keep that coach.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing I've taken away from talking to the players is, they respect the fact that he was here and won championships on the field. Like, it's a different level of respect when you know that guy's actually done it himself and he was part of this legacy. And so and then what he did as a coach at Oregon, that can't be overshadowed either. I mean, winning the Pac-12 and Rose Bowls and all that kind of stuff,
and his players going in the top 10 of the draft.
Right, that's a huge part of it. That's
yeah,
such a huge part of it. I mean, you talk about a guy like Brian Hartline right now, who former Dolphin, who's tearing it up at Ohio State and getting all these recruits. When you send guys to the NFL and you get 2 first-round picks back to back, I mean, that sells the program itself. There's not a whole lot of recruiting you need to do after that. So, and that's a big part of getting Miami back. They've got to produce players that go to the NFL and do something, and are valuable. And that's how you get back to being Miami. You just have to restart the cycle, and that's a tough thing to do when you've been dormant for this long. So Mario's got a tough job ahead of him. I know everybody says, "Oh, you just hire staff and this is just going to flip around easily." Not when college football has changed as much as it has in the last 15 to 20 years, and when you're so far back, I think, in the race. That's really where Miami is. They're very far back. Now you got a great situation with the ACC. It's a very winnable conference. It's not as easy as the Big East used to be, because you've got Clemson recruiting on a national elite level, and you've got some other good teams that, to me, are well coached, and will fight you. They're not going to just lay down and be dogs like when you used to have in the Big East, where you had a lot of those teams that just couldn't stay on the field with you. But it's a winnable conference, and you win the conference, you get into the playoff, and you get into the playoff. That's when you start to really
so they will Dave Lamont you. I will fight you.
Yes, they will fight you. They will fight
Dave.
you.
Sorry, Dave. I had to. You're it's too. It's a layup, man. How about this? Since we all let's go Mike Tannenbaum on you.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is Mike Tannenbaum was always, he's like that little puppy or dog that's like the shiny objects, and they're like they want to follow the shiny objects.
Sure.
All right.
Give me it.
We like the shiny objects.
Go
How
ahead.
many 4- and 5-star recruits are going to be here this weekend? On the Legends weekend. Talk to me about the shiny objects for college football fans out there.
Well, there's a lot of shiny objects here. I think I wrote earlier this week there was either 5 or 6 3-stars that were going to be here throughout the week. I think there's 3 left to visit this weekend. Cormani McLean, who's the top cornerback in the country, rated the top cornerback in the country. I don't think he's the top cornerback in the country, but he's here for the Legends camp and visiting, etc. There's a lot of kids. Oh, the big news for this weekend to focus on is Jaden Rashada, this quarterback who's a top 50 player out of Pittsburgh, California. He was just here, and it's a big Miami, Florida battle in my mind. I know LSU and some other schools have been in the mix, but I think I said it earlier this week on my podcast. I think he's going to sign with Miami, and Miami's going to end up with 2 quarterbacks in this class. So just that'll be the big story this weekend as far as who commits. I think a lot of the other kids that are visiting here, and I can give you the list. There's a list. There's always lists. Let's see who else is here. Samson Okunlola. He's an offensive tackle, 5-star out of Massachusetts. Jonel Aguero, another Massachusetts kid, safety. I spoke to Jonel when he was here for the spring game. I think Miami has a good chance at him. Who else is here? Malik Bryant, one of the top linebackers in the country. He's number 3 overall from Orlando. A lot of good offensive linemen. Monroe Freeling, another a big offensive tackle, top 100 recruit. Jonathan Klein from Georgia. He's a 3-star lineman. And then Tommy Kinsler, who's actually committed to Florida. He's an offensive tackle. Mario's, a lot of these kids that have visited this month, I mean, they're really focused on the offensive line. And I know, they kind of, Mario's always going to focus on that because that's what he played. But you look at a lot of visitors that have come by here. I mean, they are really focused on getting the talent level improved here. They've already got a few kids committed to play on the offensive line among the 7 commitments they have in the class. So that is a major focus. But, a lot of stars have come by. Now it's a matter of, I think, waiting until December to see if those guys sign and what's going to happen between now and December and entire football season. And that's what Mario has to do. He's got to win on the field if he's going to get those kids. I think anything less than 9 or 10 wins probably gets him none of those elite kids. I think those elite kids go to where the elite schools are playing. Getting the ACC championship, winning an ACC championship, that puts Miami on a different level to get elite recruits.
By the way, if you order over $99, you will get free shipping at keynesware. Go to 2511 South University Drive in Davie. You can find practically anything and everything with a Canes logo on it. They got great Inter Miami gear. They've got great Panthers. Miami Dolphins, Miami Heat. What else? Marlins gear. They've got all kinds of gear there. So check it out. Shoes, sneakers, sandals, jerseys, hats, shirts, you name it. Go online. Doesn't matter. You don't have to live close by. Anywhere in the country, go online. Keynesware.com. Out of the country, they're shipping, man. Keynesware.com and get your gear and get ready for the upcoming season. All right, what are you working on there at the Athletic?
Well,
oh, by the way, I'm sorry. We are there tomorrow at Keynesware from 11 to 1. I forgot. That's right. We are there tomorrow for a show from 11 to 1. So, yes.
Very cool.
We don't stop at this. Not only are we doing a straight year, but we're working on Saturdays and on Sundays.
Yeah, man. Doesn't stop. Doesn't stop.
So what are you working in the Athletic?
Well, I have a Jaden Rashada story Sunday after he announces his commitment to Miami, I believe. If he picks Florida, I'll still have a story on that as well. I'll be at the camp tomorrow, writing off of that live. There'll be podcasts. I have so many stories. I mean, the UCF. I know this is a Kane show, but I just finished writing the UCF State of the Program, which comes out on Saturday.
They're set to win another title this year, aren't they?
UCF, they all they do is win titles at UCF.
Okay, that's right. Yeah. I mean,
well, actually, with their quarterback, the kid they got out of Ole Miss, the John Rice Plumlee kid, who, if you remember back in 2019, as a freshman, he ran for over 1,000 yards. Him and Matt Corral were kind of splitting the duties. I would say UCF has a very good chance of winning the AAC this year because as good as Cincinnati was last year making the playoff, they lost a lot of guys. I know Houston is still a very good team. But UCF, if John Rice Plumlee runs the offense the way that Gus Malzahn wants him to, which when he had Cam Newton and Nick Marshall at Auburn, they were pretty good when he had elite running quarterbacks, then I think UCF has a chance this year to leave the AAC and go to the Big 12 as conference champs.
By the way, now I forgot. Did Luke Fickell finally leave Cincinnati? I forgot now.
No, he's still there.
Okay, all
he's
right.
still there. He's still there. They're in the going to the Big 12 along with Houston and UCF and
That's
BYU.
right. They are moving, so it's no reason for him to move now that he's going.
No, I mean, they're going to go in there and
Right.
that conference is going to be, I think, pretty good, to be honest with you. Even though they're losing Oklahoma and Texas, I think you put, if Houston, UCF, Cincinnati, Baylor, Oklahoma State, I mean, those are 5 teams every year that are good for 9-10 wins. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's not a bad conference at all. I might even argue it might be better than the ACC.
Overall, actually, yes. Maybe Miami might be a little more top heavy, but I got you. Yeah. I mean, if Miami gets back and you can get Florida State back.
If Florida State ever comes back, we'll see.
Yeah. I still don't buy the Norville guy. I know they love him up there and they talk about him a lot, but I got to see it before I actually believe it with the Norville guy. All right, good stuff as always. Follow him on Twitter and Manny_Navarro and subscribe to The Athletic. Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. Have a fantastic weekend.
Thank you, brother. You too. Take care.
You got it. There you go. Manny Navarro and our keynesware, Miami Hurricanes report, and we will be there tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. broadcasting live for a couple of hours out there in Davie. So come on out and join us.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's keynesware at Miami Fanware in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CS, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at keynesware.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Keynesware, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
All right, we back. Thank you all out there for always keeping it locked here on the program. Love it. I've been kind of busy because I've been like moving some of my coins off of exchanges and putting them into cold wallets and stuff because of some of the stuff that's gone on. So I want to make sure I lock down all my Ethereum and my Bitcoin and stuff, and just keeping up now because I transferred some Chainlink yesterday and it didn't go through right away. Sometimes it'll take a couple minutes. This time it took like 12 hours. So you keep checking your cold storage wallet going, okay, where is it? You just worry. And there it is. It showed up. So I'm happy. I got my Chainlink in. Moving stuff around. Got to make sure if you're not really staking stuff, and in some places, even if you're staking it, you may want to, get some of your coins off of hot wallets and into cold wallets. That would be the better move out there for you all, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so I'm just saying, not a financial advisor, just things I'm doing along the way, things that I would do. That's all. What else do we have going on here on the program? Omar Kelly should be joining us any second now. We will be talking to Omar Kelly in a minute, and then we will talk to Danny Garcia at the top of the hour at noon. By the way, EJD Construction is a proud sponsor of our program. 305-433-4843, folks. That's 305-433-4843. Tell them that Big O sent you. And folks, they can also, this is something so important. When you're reconstructing your home, you're building a second floor, you're adding an addition, you're remodeling. We're talking about major reconstruction. We're not talking about a handyman. Cost analysis is very important. And architectural drawings and the design phase prior to paying for the engineering phase is what the folks at EJD Construction can help you with. Cost analysis is basically a construction estimate with an added 15 to 30% for contingency and to establish a budget for construction. And of course, they will do the cost analysis with the architectural drawings, the bid set, the full set of architectural drawings that include a site plan, mechanical and plumbing. They will assist you in establishing a budget. And of course, you can go back and fix and update it also EJD will provide this service. They specialize in custom residential construction. They perform shell construction in-house. They have an extensive database that enables them to simulate and take off what you need to get within that 5% of the actual construction cost of the bid set provided. You want a company that is going to work for you and people that are trained and professionals. You want EJD Construction, and you want somebody that is fully insured. Do not allow people to walk into your home and work in your home that are not fully insured, because you can get into some serious trouble and you could get sued. 305-433-4843, fully insured, $2 million, $1 million in workers' comp, $2 million in liability. They are insured, they are professional, and they're ready to work for you. 305-433-4843 for ejdconstruction.com as we wait for Omar Kelly. Before we get to Omar Kelly, which I hope we get him in a couple minutes, did you guys see what Bally Sports is trying to do to us? I mean, that's disgusting, dude. So you got to push the freaking Rays down our throats. So they have two plans. $19.99 a month. You can get the Panthers and the Marlins. Then they force you to pay another $19.99 a month to get the Heat and the Rays. Apparently they don't have the rights to the Magic. Like, they can't give the Tampa, Orlando area Rays Magic as their package, and then our package should be Heat, Marlins, and Panthers. And we should be paying one price for our three teams. But in order for you to get the Heat, you also are paying for the stinking Tampa Bay Rays. That's disgusting, dude. That's insulting. We don't give a shit about the Rays, Bally's. Okay? And please don't tell me, well, they're a better baseball team. Well, we win the titles. They don't. Okay? You can have the tease. I want the woman that takes me all the way home. Okay? And at least when the Marlins go to the playoffs, they don't tease. They go all the way. Tampa Bay, they're just a bunch of little teases. I'm not into the tease. I'm into the please. Okay? We good on that? So Bally's, that's disgusting. That's ridiculous. I get it. The Heat are the best franchise you have in all the state. But you got to put them with the Marlins and with our Panthers. That's where they belong. We should have a South Florida section for us. We don't care about Central Florida. We don't care about Northern Florida. I got nothing against the Jags, nothing against the Bucks, nothing against the Magic, nothing against the Lightning, but I don't give a shit about them. Okay? I care about the Dolphins. I care about the Marlins. I care about the Panthers. I care about the Heat. I care about the Canes. I care about Inter Miami. Those are my teams. Okay? FIU, FAU, my teams. All right? Him or she, my team. We got that? All right? Miami FC, my team. I'm a hometown guy. I don't want to hear about the Rays.
I don't understand how you thought the cable companies were going to allow them to give a package to where you don't, again, it comes with
now. It only makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
What do I give a shit about Central Florida?
But again, the cable companies are not going to okay Bally's to okay a sports app to put something that they put in their package already with cable companies, with Dish Network, with all those companies. Bally's was not going to be able to afford a $19.99 and you get all three of those.
Well, put the Rays,
they lose the money from the cable companies.
Dude, put the Rays, the Magic, the Orlando Storm.
It has nothing to do. They did the package that way so that now you have to spend
$40
a month.
Is it Orlando Storm or Tampa Storm or whatever?
Listen.
Whatever their Arena League team is, throw it in there. Do they have a USFL team?
Sure.
Throw it in there too in their package.
But it
Give
has nothing
them
to do with the
whatever shitty Central Florida
They're
package.
going to make you pay $40 a month because on the cable companies, it's figured in as the $9.99, $10.99 package. There's no way that they're going to allow Bally's to sit here and say, okay, here you go, guys. Even though, we get money from the cable companies, now we're going to give you the package cheaper here.
Right.
It's not going to happen. It's the big cable companies that are probably running more of this.
Right. Big O, dude, seriously, I'd rather watch paint dry or ice melt than NBA Summer League. And let's be honest here. You just want to go to Vegas using the Summer League as the reason. Nelson, my brother, you are there. There's a reason why, my man, I'm doing this and you're watching and listening because you don't understand my job. Yeah, I get the whole Vegas thing, dude. Yes, like I can't go to Vegas any freaking time I want. You know what I'm saying? It's not the Vegas thing. It's in Vegas, great. But it's also the fact that I get to meet all the NBA people and you get to talk to a lot of the writers and insiders and NBA, GMs and scouts and all that. The things that I used to do or still doing, I'm going to start doing them again this year at the East-West Shrine. Most of you don't watch the East-West Shrine, but I'm not necessarily there for the game itself. I'm there really for the practices and to talk to the NFL people so I can get to know those people, get some insight, get some numbers, get some of the reporters on for you guys. The same thing. We're networking, my man. We're going for an entire week to network with NBA people so we can then make the show better. Also, I'm trying to talk to a couple of Vegas hotels for a home. There's a lot more than just eating shit at a blackjack table or going to a strip club to go get some friction dance, Nelson. I get it, dude. That's what your ass is thinking. That's not what I'm thinking. That's not why I'm going there. There's a lot more. There's actual work, Nelson. It's not about necessarily watching all the guys run up and down the court. I'm going to record that back at home. I can actually watch it when I relax on YouTube TV after, if I want to. That's not why I'm going there. I'm going there for business. And then I'm going to do the show there also at the same time. Some of you are incredibly short-sighted, bro. Bro, Bally's isn't even available on every streaming service. YouTube, for example. Exactly. Big O, since you're a Star Wars geek like some of us, do you do the Star Wars original first, then the prequels, or the other way around? No, the other way around. You start from 1 through 9, bro. You have to start in the order so you tell a story. Yeah. Back in the day, we had no choice. We had to start with a New Hope, right? A New Hope, I think it was called. So, yeah. No, I got you. Where the hell is Omar, bro? We got somebody at the top of the damn hour. And that's like national. I got to lock that in.
And on the one I was talking about, the cable companies and DirecTV allow you to stream Bally Sports as part of the package when you buy the cable package. That's what I meant by streaming. I wasn't meaning the streaming outlets like YouTube and things like that. They use it as part of their streaming for Comcast and DirecTV and all those.
Right, exactly.
The Xfinity X1 package.
You when you write, man. And you write. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have? One Obi-Wan final was good, but Boba Fett final was epic. Yeah, I've enjoyed them all. I've enjoyed Mandalorian. I've enjoyed Obi-Wan. I've enjoyed the Boba Fett. I love it all, man. Listen, again, is everything going to be perfect? No. But overall, as a Star Wars fan, it keeps the whole, what's that called? Franchise alive for me. It refreshes it. And like this gentleman just asked me about, do you start from, the old ones, or do you start in chronological order from where it would go? And obviously, and that's for us geeks that say every few years we feel like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go through the gamut and I'm going to watch all 9, that kind of stuff. And now we get to mix in Obi-Wan in it and Mandalorian and Rogue One and all that kind of stuff, because you can sneak Rogue One in before A New Hope, So all of that, what I haven't done, I'll tell you what I haven't done, and that's what I need to do, is put all of them in order, movies and TV shows and all of that, and then watch it chronologically the way the storyline goes. Now, that would be cool to put all of that in that kind of order. That would be actually absolutely awesome if you can do that. Somebody's going to come up with a website that puts them all in the kind of the order that they should be in. And then that way, us lazy asses like myself can, instead of me trying to figure out where, because I can kind of figure out where they belong, but, somebody will do the work for me and say, okay, you got to put this here, this here, this here. And sometimes maybe even in episodes, they'll switch over. Hey, do Mandalorian first, then go to Obi on this, then go to, whatever, something like that. That might be cool. In fact, one of you Star Wars geeks might be even geekier than I am. You may already know of that website. Share. Big O, we running Fuddruckers for lunch. Sean is down. Didn't go yesterday. Haven't been there in a minute. It's nostalgic. You can't miss it, bro. Oh, you can watch them in order on Disney Plus. Yeah, but do they have them I have Disney Plus, but they have them there. But I don't. What I'm saying is, I don't know exactly the chronological order for all of it yet. I have to I would have to sit down and kind of figure it all out, and then put it in order and then go and watch it. I know they're all there, but I doubt that they have them in chronological order. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they have the shows and the movies separate from each other. But somebody has had to have put them in an order already. There has to be a website. And by the way, send it to the Welton Rayom text line at 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. And we did get some reaction yesterday from a business owner. So just in case there's a couple of other businesses that may be interested, we are putting together a monthly dolphin show that we want to put at somewhere here in South Florida, where it's myself and 4 of the insiders. And we know it's going to draw a lot of people to this thing. And it'll be me and Omar and Cameron and, Joe Shad and Alan Poupar and Marcel and all the guys. And so we'll have the guys, and it'll be an opportunity where for 90 minutes, it'll be on YouTube, but we'll go back and forth, take questions, banter, all that stuff. We'll film it, obviously. It'll be live. Sean will cut it up and slice it up. But we want to find the right, and it needs to be a place that's pretty big, because it's going to be one hell of an event every month. So if your business thinks that they can host this event, reach out to me at 786-754-4664. This is only for business purposes. This is not a request line. It's not for you to talk sports or anything like that. It's all strictly business. Nobody else is going to answer that phone. Only for business. 786-754-4664. Call our business line. We are looking for the right venue. There aren't a lot of them. It has to be the right venue that has some size and space, where the guys can sit in a round table and people can be around. And it'll be a 90-minute show, and then a half hour for the next half hour after that. All the guys will stay around and take pictures and talk with you guys and all that. So it's going to be very interactive, too, at the same time, because that's how things need to be nowadays. Craig Sebring says, Big O, Darth Vader is still the best villain in movie history. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not even close. For sure. Number 1. And thank you, Craig, for the love on the super chat. Ray Grullon also says, howdy-o. The next series is Andor at the end of August. It's set before the events of Rogue One. As a geek like you, I'm loving the Star Wars content. I know, isn't it awesome? It's awesome. And I loved Rogue One, by the way. I enjoyed it. I really did. Had no problem with Rogue One. That was just absolutely awesome. Don't forget, folks, to smash the hell out of the like button while you're watching the show there. And please subscribe to the show. Subscribe to our other channel, Big O Show Cuts. We're going to use that one also for some live stuff. Maybe, in the Vegas Summer League, if we can get it to the point where I might be in one place, Sean might be another. You never know. Live stuff goes on every time. Big O, do you like Back to the Futures? The movie is amazing, still holds up in time. It's always a must-watch when on TV. Yep. I have the DVDs also, and I love Back to the Future. Yes, I have all three. Can't say 3 holds up to 1 and 2, but it's still pretty good. You know what I think is underrated? Jurassic Park 3, I think, is underrated. I don't think it gets enough love. So everybody talks about 1, of course, but I think 3 is pretty freaking awesome, actually. So I haven't seen the new one. Not getting really good reviews. Not a lot of people are talking about it. And I normally like to go to big screens to see, Jurassic, but the reviews haven't been good. We are working also on a Kane show, a weekly Kane show. And we're looking also for the right venue. We have half the sponsors are set for a weekly Kane show. We are also looking for a home for the Kane show too. 786-754-4664 if your business wants to host 3 Canes insiders. Big time insiders. 786-754-4664. So we will definitely have that also. Those shows will be on drive time. They won't be in the morning. They'll be 4:30 to 6. They will be in the afternoons. The Dolphin Roundtable and the Kane Show. We are also adding fantasy football. We're working on that also. And we will have year-round fantasy and NFL draft content. So how about that? So not just the season, but for keeper leagues, dynasty leagues, all that kind of stuff, all those kind of changes, we will have all of that for you. Okay? Too Extreme says the latest Jurassic Park isn't that great. It's really starting to be too repetitive. Jurassic Park was terrible. Could have gone into different directions. Just love Alan Grant character. They even used the John Williams score. Okay. So apparently it sucks. Everybody, that's why I haven't bothered to spend the money because it hasn't gotten good reviews. So I figured I'm not going to waste my time doing that. Did you see Edgerrin James? Did you catch that? So Edgerrin James, Arch Manning committed to Texas. So now that he committed to Texas, they asked Edgerrin James about that. So Edgerrin James went in another direction, and he started talking about his son. And all right, so he goes, when I saw Arch Manning come out in 2023, I have my son at Howard. So I know it's going to be a reconnection in the future, talking about Peyton and himself. Says Edgerrin James told TMZ, you're going to see my son. You're going to see a James Manning connection. They're both going to be in the NFL together. I love that. I love that the dad is loud and proud about his son. But I got to tell you something, Edge. I don't agree with the move. It's tough enough to be Edgerrin James' kid. It's tough enough to be Peyton Manning's kid. It's not fun to be Ted Williams' kid and Pete Rose and Ray Lewis and Alonzo Highsmith. I've seen all these kind of guys, and they fall short a lot of times. The Steph Del Curry, the Ken Griffey Jr., Ken Griffey Sr. thing. Although Ken Griffey Sr. was a much better player than than Del Curry was in basketball, because Del was like a bench player. You know, Ken Griffey Sr. was a good baseball player. But those are few and far between. More often than not, these kids don't live up to their dads. And it's hard enough being Michael Jordan's kid, dude. And you gotta try. Oh my God, you're the GOAT's kid. Oh, are you as talented as your dad? And now you're held up. And now your dad puts that kind of pressure on you publicly. I disagreed with that move by Edge. Notice everybody else talks about Arch Manning. You don't hear Peyton talking about Arch Manning or Eli or Archie saying, "Oh no, our son is going to be in the NFL. Our nephew is going to be in the NFL. He's going to kick ass." No extra pressure. Those kind of kids, they don't need it, dude. Scottie Pippen's kid, Shaq's kid, Wade's kid, they don't need it. Everyone else, all the other idiots like myself that are on radio and podcast and TV, they're going to do enough about putting pressure on these kids as it is. Writers talking about whether they're 3 or 4 or 5 star or how much they compare to their dads, they're going to do enough of that shit too. Edge, bad move, dude. Just say you're proud of your son, you're happy. Behind the scenes, push them all you want, whatever. But publicly, there's a great chance most of these young men never live up to be what their dads were in sports. And that's what's normal. What's normal is that you're not what your dad was in sports. What's rare is that you're as good as your dad or better in sports. So if there's a better chance of you failing, and you should know about the track record, and I get it, athletes think they're invincible. So now you think your son is invincible and you think your family genes are invincible. And if I made it, he made it, he'll make it and all that. But that's just not the case. And while I have immense respect for Edge, it just sucks. You know? It's a shame. But I hope it works out for the kid. I hope he's better than Edgerrin James, because they already put all kinds of pressure on him now. I feel bad for him. I really do. Not now. Yeah. At 1. At 1. After Cam. 12:50, 1 o'clock, right around there after Cam is when we can reset Omar, if he's all right with that. Because we're going to get Danny Garcia now at noon. We'll have the Philadelphia boxer on. He's taking on Benavides in July, so on Showtime. So we're going to have Mr. Garcia on and have a little fun with him. So we'll see. Hopefully down the line we can go to see some of these. You haven't been to a champion. You haven't covered a championship boxing match yet, right? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a real world championship. You will, my man. You will. I promise you that. I promise you, you will be covering a several world championships. If it's up to me, and my crazy ass can make it happen, we definitely will. By the way, Nature B is the superfood, 27 vitamins and amino acids, 28 minerals and powerful antioxidants. I tell you about it all the time. I love it. I swear by it because I've been taking it for 20 years. It helps me battle all the big nasties out there in a virus-filled world now. I've been taking this before we had this nasty-ass virus going around, but I rarely have a cold. Unless it's self-inflicted, because I slept in front of a fan with my mouth open. Outside of that, I rarely ever get a cold, and I attribute it, all of it, to Nature Bee. Go to naturebee.com, use my code BIG-O, and you will get free shipping. 1 month supply, 2 month supply, 3 month supply, 6 month supply. Order your Nature Bee. They also have some other great products. You won't get free shipping on the other products, only the plant pollen. So if you want to get the soap, which I love, the lip balm, which is awesome, my wife loves the wrinkle cream. They've got all kinds of different products. You can check it out. But when I tell you about plant pollen, it comes from clean green New Zealand, straight from Mother Earth, straight from the ground, okay? And there are no chemicals. It's not made in a lab, and it's great for the kids. It's great for adults. My daughter's been taking it since she was a child. My wife takes it. I take it. And obviously, with my daughter being or was a student and my wife being a teacher, germs everywhere, dude. Nature Bee. Go to naturebee.com and you won't feel the fade at 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Oh, one more thing it's several things, right? Besides the no 3 o'clock fade, your stronger nails, you'll get smoother skin, and your hair will be fuller too, on top of all of that. So a ton of benefits. Go to naturebee.com and use my code BIG-O. All right, give me 2 minutes. We'll come back with Danny Garcia and a little boxing from Showtime. After that, Cameron Wolfe and Omar Kelly.
The Big O Radio Show is looking for partners to join our growing platform. If your business is ready to reach an audience that starts in Florida, crosses the nation while expanding internationally, this is the program that provides that vehicle. The Big O Radio Show is ready to broadcast live anywhere in the world to represent your event or product. To reach out by phone, 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. Or email bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. Help us grow as we provide the content and personal connection corporate entities will never achieve.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's keynesware at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CS, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at keynesware.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Keynesware, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red, an infrared light, has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Evolve your training and step into the new era of muscle recovery. Red Recover.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by Keynesware. Go to keynesware.com, where all orders over $99 get free shipping. Sloman's Total Home Security. Protect your home with the best in the business. 1-800-ALARM-ME for the company serving America for nearly 100 years. 1-800-ALARM-ME. Tommy B. Butts Junior Enterprises.com. Licensed roofing contractor. 100% financing is available. Go to Tommy B. Butts Junior Enterprises.com.
When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Hour number 3, by the way, I made a mistake. We will have Danny Garcia at the bottom of this hour. We're going to have Omar Kelly now, actually, and then Cameron Wolfe at 12:30, then Danny Garcia at 12:50. So that's how we're going to roll. So Omar Kelly will be joining us any minute now, so we'll have some fun. Big O, did you do good going to see Top Gun than Jurassic? Yes, Top Gun was good. Top Gun was great, actually. I enjoyed the hell out of it. It's fantastic. Big O, if Irving leaves the Nets and Durant possibly, well, Ricky, we talked about all of that. Just rewind, my brother. It's at the beginning of the show. We don't repeat content here, so you can go back and check it out. We're digital, man. You know, in radio, they can do the lazy stuff of repeating interviews and repeating segments and talking about the same subject for 2 hours. We talk about it, then we move on. But you can rewind, which is a beautiful thing, or wait for the podcast. He will slice it and dice it like a good Ginsu knife man does. All right, let's go. Omar Kelly is ready to go. And our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. The Big O Radio Show is home for the hardcore Dolphins fan. That's why we give you Omar Kelly twice a week. Buckle up. It's time for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show.
Is the man, the myth, the legend, ready to rock on a Friday. How you feeling, my friend?
Good, man. How you been?
Can't complain, man. It's rocking and rolling out here at Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines, having some fun, hanging out with the boys. So, what are you drinking there?
Water.
Just water? Okay.
Yeah, just water.
Okay. All right. How's the neck?
Getting better. Not to the rate that I would like, but getting there.
Okay. That's what happens when you're old, bro. It takes a little while to kind of heal up, you know. So as you get older, those aches and pains, they last a little longer right now. By the way, how pathetic was it to hear that Tyreek Hill got death threats? I have to laugh because is your life that pathetic that it pissed you off that much? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's
Twitter, social media, fan bases, as somebody who has been abused by them for 15, 20 years, it's not surprising. It really isn't.
Oh, it isn't, right? Yeah, that's the worst. Actually, that's the worst part about it. It's really
and especially like I would make the argument, and I would love your opinion on this, that Twitter has become more of a vile place than it used to be, let's say 5-10 years ago.
Easily. Yes.
Yeah.
Because more and more people learned how to use it. And so, you know, usually the the loud people are the minority. They're like, and that's because that's really not. I believe in general people are good, but you have your bad people and they stand out. It's just the way it is. You know what I mean? You can go into a law office and most of them are probably decent people, but there's probably going to be a shady lawyer or two. You go into a police department, most of them are good, but there's going to be a couple of shady cops. You go into a football locker room, most of them are really good guys. There's one or two idiots. And they're loud. Notice whatever happens, it's loud. If it happens and it puts a damper on everything else. And I think that's what's happened, that a lot of savvy people and business people started using Twitter early on. The general public, it takes them a while to catch on. Eventually, as they catch on, you have those kind of people that then start to abuse. It doesn't matter what it is. They're going to we can have Black Lives Matter protests, right? And people are out there for the protest and doing it right. And then there's a group of idiots that are rioting and setting cars on fire.
Looting, chaos,
criminals. And so you always, and then they're the loud ones out of that group. Most of the people were decent human beings. But unfortunately, there was that group. And that's just our lives. And I think that's what's happened with Twitter, that as the general public has come in, that pollution has become louder. I am with you 1,000%. Yeah. That's why I keep harping on crypto, because I know where it's at now, and I know where it's going to be in 4 or 5 years from now, 6 years from now, when Omar Kelly is going, God damn it, bro. Orlando told me about this crypto shit like 6 years ago, and here I am using my crypto wallet, paying for this and paying for that. Son of a bitch. I should have invested back in those, because that's how it is. It takes a while. The world has caught on. They went from Facebook to Twitter, and because Facebook was like that already for many, many years.
Facebook to Twitter to Instagram to TikTok to Snapchat to TikTok.
I'm not on TikTok that much. Is it? That doesn't seem like it's as toxic as the other ones.
I don't know. It's mostly for young people. So yeah. I'm not a TikTok expert. My goal probably within the next year is to become more familiar with it, but I got to figure out how it benefits me.
We have no choice, right? It's just part of the business. Like some guy goes to me, "Come on, you're just going to the Vegas Summer League just to go to Vegas." And he goes, because really,
Vegas ain't that dope.
So he goes to me, really, Summer League? And I'm like, dude, I'm not there really to watch them run up and down. I'm not at the East-West Shrine because I'm dying for the game. I'm there to meet the people, the contacts, like in the NBA. That's what we're going to do when we're in Vegas Summer League. Since I've been doing it with the NFL for 20 years, now I'm going to start doing some of this on the NBA side to get to know more people on the NBA side to better the show. And it's like people, they don't understand sometimes our business. You know what I mean? They think it's just fun and games as a fan. And
you think Big O travels to the combine with 50 cigars just because he's planning to smoke them all? No. He's handing out cigars so he can smoke them with important people so he can build the contact. Like, hello. I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah, man. So now we plan to do that now this in July when we go out to the NBA Summer League to start to build relationships on the NBA side. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I'm trying to do is better our show, because that's kind of what you want to do. You want to keep working every day to kind of better the show. But it's it's just it's sad to see that. And I talked to these guys about this the last couple of days since I've had you on. The worst part is you lose and I lose on the Tyreek thing, because you lose as a media member, because the more people act like assholes, the less these guys want to open up and say anything because it's not worth it. And then you lose because you don't get that, and I lose because as a reader, I don't get to hear or read about the insightful article you could have found out about this person or that person, because now they're a little bit more clammed up because of certain experiences.
Yeah, but
that's the sad part.
the one thing also about social media is that it's teaching you a little bit more about these athletes and their lives and what they got going on, more so than I would say we did 10 years ago. Facebook was popping. First time I discovered Facebook was like 2007. And really, that was because, Darlington was using it to holler at some women. And it just evolved from there. And, Steamroll, it was a college kid thing. And then Instagram, I learned that from my ex-wife. And, and your kids teach you about Snapchat. But it's got to evolve. But this young generation, I mean, I on the last episode of I Am Athlete, Chase Claypool said he made more money on TikTok than he did his rookie contract, his first year of his rookie contract.
Yeah.
Like that's reality. Think about that.
I know.
That like these kids can make money.
Right.
Money.
Yeah. That's why I felt this
College
show.
too.
That's why I felt this show could work, because the world is not about traditional antennas anymore. It's more about platforms now. That's where people are going. And so we figured, okay, you build some kind of culture on the platform, maybe you'll get people to, and sure enough, that's kind of because this is where we're at, dude. Yeah. It's platforms, and I'm with you. We opened up a TikTok account and I have to get it going because I don't know how, to maximize it. But I think we got to do, since we're going to hit the road now more. Now we're going to go out to Dolphins camp this year. That's the stuff that's going to change now. We're going to alter the times of the show at times because of camps and things like that. Yeah, we have to do that, unfortunately.
Good idea.
Yeah.
I love radio shows watching live practice.
Yeah. We're going to go back to that now. We'll be able to do, since we control everything, then we'll it's digital, bro. If we have to do the show a little earlier, parts of it, then we'll do a second part later in the afternoon. Then we do that, bro. It is what it is, but we'll work around it. But we have to now get out to the Dolphins and to Heat and start, covering all that stuff. All right, so we have the time off now. It looks like they're done with moves. Or are they? Have you heard anything?
They'll always do something the week.
Right, but are they proactive right now? Are they searching?
Everybody's in the offseason, bro. Everybody's vacationing. Organizations, GMs are actually in town here. Executives are in Florida, vacationing. I got to link up with a couple of them. Everybody's off. Everybody's closed. Camp is closed. Everybody's enjoying their family. This is what the NFL does in July. They enjoy their family till they have to report back.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. I've got no problem with that. It's just you always ask because you always wonder, okay, is there anything brewing behind the scenes? Is there any final touch-ups with anything that they need to do out there?
There will be. I definitely think there will be, but that's always been the case. They always add guys, right before camp, and then the first week of camp, and then the second week of camp. They'll always tinker. Now, how much of it will make a difference or improve the roster? You never know. Like I remember last year they added the kid who's linebacker, Griffin,
Shaquille Griffin, yeah.
Yeah, and he didn't make the roster, but it was a great story for a day or two, and a decent camp body. So that's where they are. Now I want to get to my good stuff that I did for the Sun Sentinel, primarily for people like you.
Okay.
Where we sit and we hash where these quarterbacks stack up and where they rank. And I ranked Tua. I put quarterbacks in tiers. And primarily because the elites, who the elites are, they're the Mahomes, the Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Brady, Stafford, Prescott. You can argue whether you want about if any one of them doesn't deserve to be in there. Then I got the guys knocking at the door, which is Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Derek Carr, who I have a high opinion of, by the way. You do too.
He's always been a good quarterback, bro.
Yeah.
He's not he's never been the problem with the Raiders.
So I just listed you 12 quarterbacks right now who are arguably, the top 12 in the league. And
I know he's old, but you didn't put Matt Ryan in there. Like he's in that second tier, right?
Matt Ryan's done. Matt Ryan's
done. He's done. Okay.
I think he's done.
I don't think he had a bad season last year, did he?
He didn't have a bad season. His team sucked though.
No, I know his team sucked, but he might be better off now in Indy with the line and.
I watched him in a joint practice with the Dolphins, and there really just wasn't anything that. I mean, think about it. He's older than dirt.
I know he's old.
Yeah,
but he's been solid. I mean, he's been solid. He's been a good quarterback. I never looked at him as a great quarterback, but I always looked at him as a good quarterback, man. In that second tier that you talked about,
he's back there. He's in the back. I don't even think he's a Hall of Famer, but that's a good conversation for another day.
That's fine that you could consider he's like a borderline guy. I can see that. I can see people saying he's not a Hall of Famer, but he's a damn good quarterback, right? I mean, he had a good
Dolphins should have drafted him in 2008.
He had like a Matt Hasselbeck type career. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not losing because of him. Put it that way. If you put the right team around him, you'll win. That's it.
Now here comes the company that Tua Tagovailoa keeps. The Kyler Murrays, the Jimmy Garoppolo.
Fair. Fair.
The Kirk Cousins.
Fair.
That Ryan Tannehill's.
Yeah.
And then I have Tua ranked. He's my 17th highest rated quarterback in the NFL right now.
So you just talked about Tanny, which is number 17.
I put Tannehill 16.
And then you put him at 17.
I'm just saying,
it's kind of interesting that the number 17 you gave it to number, 1, but that's fine.
Listen, here's the reason why I put Tannehill ahead of Tua. Tannehill has led the Titans to the AFC South Championship twice, 2 straight years, playoffs 3 straight years, won playoff games, and last year he did it without his running back. So for those who say
the Foreman kid was pretty damn good, bro.
It doesn't matter. He did but the best running back in the NFL.
But the Foreman kid was better than anything.
It doesn't matter. He did it without the best running back in the NFL.
I know, but he still had a pretty damn good running back in an offensive line after that.
He's in a play action based offense. I want Tua to be in the same play action based offense as Ryan Tannehill. So is it fair? And keep in mind, this is Tannehill, who's in his 10th year of his career, who's the 16th best quarterback in the NFL. He's in the top half. What will it take for Tua to get into that top half of NFL quarterbacks this season? And I say he's got to be in the top 12.
By the way, 133 rushes, 566 yards, 4.3 yards per carry. He had 3 touchdowns rushing. He was a damn good back for them.
And the Dolphins. Yep.
And he had 9 receptions for 123 yards, 13.7 per catch. I mean, dude, the guy averaged over 4 yards a carry. He's a pretty good running back, bro. Pretty good running back. That's a hell of a 1-2, put it that way. Considering we don't have a 1 and they had a 1-2, last year.
He was a guy picked up off the street too. So you could have had him just like you could have had anybody else.
Well, but you got to give props to the front office of Tennessee that they saw it, they identified it, and said, that dude will excel in our system.
I think it's more the line. I think it's more the line. That's
I agree.
Where the line makes the back. Not to say that Derrick Henry isn't a freak of nature, but Tennessee.
No. I agree. The line helps. There's no doubt, but you got to give the guy credit. He made the plays too. He looked good in that line. He's not Derrick Henry because nobody's that freak. But man, I got to give Deonta Freeman a little love, bro. I don't think you're giving him enough credit. Give him some credit, bro.
So you would say it's fair that Tua is the 17th ranked quarterback?
Yeah, because I understand your whole breakdown. You're going with the people who have accomplished more up to this point, which is completely fair. Tua has to earn his stripes. He hasn't earned it yet. He hasn't displayed that. He hasn't been to the AFC Championship game. He hasn't had success in the playoffs yet. Some of these guys you're talking about have had success in the playoffs, have had double-digit wins, have gotten to the playoffs, have had some kind of level of success. Even Kirk Cousins, even though I think Tua will be 100 times the quarterback that Kirk Cousins is, But right now, I get it. In the list right now, you have to put Cousins in front of him. I totally understand, dude. It's all sensible what you put together. That's all.
That's all I hear from a TuneOn member.
Yeah, I would love to argue with you about it. Do I think Tua's going to run circles around Tannehill? Hell's to the yeah. I already know he's a better quarterback than Tannehill.
Last year.
Yeah, man. I'm just saying, but he needs to prove it, and he needs to shut a lot of people up and all that stuff. But until he does, then next year he will climb in your rankings. So I get it. I don't have a problem. I don't think anybody. Did you get a lot of flack for it?
No, not really. I think I don't even think TuneOn brushed back really. I did put him ahead of Mac Jones and Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts first, 18 and 20 is Mac Jones. 19 is Mac.
I love Jalen Hurts, the person. I love his athleticism. He doesn't have the accuracy that Tua has. He'll never be a like Tua.
I'm sorry, but I'm not going to put two guys who were your backups and couldn't hold your jockstrap at Alabama ahead of you, even though they, Jalen Hurts took his team to the playoffs. And, I got Carson Wentz, and then Matt Ryan is my 21st ranked quarterback. I'm curious to see what happens in Indianapolis with a run game.
I mean, he's old, so, you wonder where he's at physically.
37.
But he's been solid, bro. He's taken a hell of a career, bro. He's had a hell of a career, man.
Yeah,
he's had a really he's got nothing to. Well, I mean, dude. I still, rest in peace, Tony. I'm sorry, but I still blame Tony for the whole Jake Long thing. You kept him in that preseason game in a rainy, muddy baseball field game. That whole excuse. Oh, we need to get the line right and all that, bro. That's Jake Long. He you get everybody else right. That guy didn't need to be out there, and that ruined his career. From that moment on, he became injury prone.
I can't even remember. I think Jake's body was going to break down no matter what.
Oh, no, dude. No, I disagree with you, bro. I disagree with you. I think he was one of those guys that once he got that injury, he overcompensated for it, and then it became more problems for him down the line. I feel that guy was such a beast, Omar.
Yeah, but I'm not really certain that he was all natural.
I don't care about that, dude. I mean,
but I'm just saying that
how many of these guys in football are not all natural in the past?
Hey, I mean, you're right. But that just leads to physical breakdowns.
True. Very true. Very true. Very true.
I mean, and yesterday
he was freakish, bro. He was built like a defensive end.
Yeah.
Playing tackle.
Have you seen the picture of Teron Armstead?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah. He's got
now that guy.
He's got the guns of Navarro.
No, you said Jake Long's built like a defensive. Jake Long was built like an offensive lineman.
Jake Long was built like a defensive end. He had no belly, bro.
He was big, but he wasn't muscular. Whereas,
but he was cut up.
Not really.
He wasn't a giant, but he was.
He was big. He wasn't. He didn't have a belly.
Yeah, no, dude. I don't think you remember Jake. Jake Long did not have a belly.
I remember Jake Long. Jake Long was like the first offensive lineman that I saw that didn't have a belly. And I remember Jake Long.
Jake Long was the Daryl Gardner of offensive linemen.
Nah, Jake Long wasn't that buff. Jake Long wasn't muscular like that.
I'm saying lean. He was leaner than you would expect any tackle.
Not really.
Just like Daryl Gardner, you never expect defensive tackles.
He was country big. He was just big, but he was lean for a 300-pounder.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And he didn't have a belly. He looked like a regular guy, just supersized. Where Teron Armstead looks like a muscular defensive end playing off the line.
Well, he's bigger. He's thicker than Jake.
Yes. No, Teron. I don't know if Teron is thicker.
Yes, he is, bro. Yes, he is. I saw the video and I saw Jake Long, up close.
I used to see Jake Long naked. I'm telling you, I know Jake Long. He has a different body, but Teron, he doesn't look like Teron Armstead. Jake Long looked like.
Oh, I know.
Jake Long looked like a big country, even though he really wasn't country, but big Midwesterner, big ankles, big calves, big, he's just tall, but he didn't have a belly. He wasn't an offensive lineman with a belly.
That guy was as impressive as it gets. The joint practices were announced on the 10th and 11th of August against Tampa Bay. We've talked about this before. If you're a new coach, to have the 2 joint practices that you're going to have, that was one of the best offseason moves he's made to prepare his team for the upcoming
Everybody's
season.
doing joint practices now, though.
But what I'm saying is, if you don't, you're an idiot. And the fact that he not only did 1, but he's doing 2 of them, I give him a lot of credit, because in the past, years past, that wasn't as common. And all the teams that did it, I always gave them credit. Jimmy Johnson would always do it, and Dave.
Yeah, but it's the new NFL now. It's like everybody's got to do at least 2 joint practices now. I mean,
less preseason, right?
Yeah. I like it. It's great evaluation tool. Love it. I don't like it. I love it. I can remember vividly every joint practice I've ever been to, and how it gave me a better picture of where the team is and where the team was, and strengths and weaknesses. Last year, watching them get bullied by the Chicago Bears offensive line was I always suspected they were trash. Once I saw that, I was just like, oh no, this will not do at all. Not at all. And I remember watching the quarterback for Chicago, Justin Fields, and watching Miami's secondary just dominate him. And then when they took their foot off the gas, he had a good day the second day. And I was just like, yeah, that's not for me.
Right.
And Atlanta the next week, watching their tight end, can't remember his name now, the kid from Florida.
Yeah, go ahead. I know you're talking about.
Watching him just really shred people gave me the indicator that this guy's going to be a stud, and then he comes out and he wins the game against Miami in the regular season. I didn't find Matt Ryan that impressive, and then Tua and the quarterback started regressing that week. So Tampa, I remember Tampa was when Minkah Fitzpatrick decided, I don't want to be part of this bullshit no more. His mama was tweeting me and explaining why he was getting tore up, and that's because he's playing out of position. We had to go bum rush, what's his name, Flores, and have him backtrack and backpedal and justify it. And ultimately, it was a bad decision. It was the wrong decision. I get why they did it, but you should have left Bobby McCain at nickel cornerback, and you should have played Minkah at free safety.
Yeah.
But c'est la vie. You live and you learn.
By the way, what are you working on there at the Sun Sentinel, so folks can check you out, my brother?
As my quarterback ranking is up there. I gave you most of the rankings, but there's a couple of different things to it. I'm working on sort of a synopsis of how much every team, like the offseason champions. Who is the offseason champion of the NFL, Big O?
Who's the offseason champion of
the offseason champion?
Are you talking about like an individual, or are you talking about a team?
Team. Who made the most improvement to their roster?
Well, Miami's definitely one of them.
In the contender.
Trying to think of all the offseason moves by other teams that really stood out to me.
Like who's entered another stratosphere? It's got to be Denver.
Well, yeah, that's right. Russell Wilson. That's a good call. Even though you and I had this I think you and I had this conversation because we have so many of you guys on every week. I don't think that Denver defense is as good as it's been in the past. I think he's going to have to do a little more carrying there than let's say Peyton Manning had to do when he won a title. I'm just saying.
We'll see. I don't even know who their defensive coordinator is. That's a good question. So yeah, they're going to be changes.
And they lost their defensive coordinator. So yes, yeah, they lost the old man who was the head coach, and then So that was a big loss for them. But
I was in the running to take this job and decided not to work.
Right, and let me tell you, I just don't feel that defense is as good. But that is definitely one of them because the Russell Wilson move puts him right up there because you get a guy like that. Is there another team you're thinking of?
Vegas. I think the improvements that Vegas made, including the head coach.
Yeah, Adams.
And Devontae Adams. They still got the tight end. I don't know if they're going to continue to have the tight end, but
they're not. Waller's not going anywhere, bro. They're keeping Waller. They've talked about that. They're not. You don't let a game changer like that walk out.
They got to get the deal done.
They'll get it done, bro.
And Buffalo.
You need to fire the front office if they allow Darren Waller to walk out, bro.
Yeah.
You just
Buffalo.
have to fire them.
Buffalo.
Well, they were already loaded.
Buffalo is a good call. You know what I might do? I might take a look at the best free agents still out there, still available.
Yeah.
That's because a guy like Quan Alexander can help the Dolphins. The center from Cleveland, I can't remember his name now.
Casey Treader.
Yeah.
Well, hold on a second. I mean, if Connor works out, then you've got the younger.
Yes, absolutely. I'm not an advocate for. I'm just talking about not necessarily for the Dolphins, but for everybody. Who are the best available talents still out there?
While I thought it was an experiment, I have to give them the benefit of the doubt because they're more offensive line experts.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
Okay. We'll find out.
Michael Dieter's your backup. I'm good.
I'm really intrigued to see that work because if it does, I feel good for Tua. Because if there's anything that a young quarterback needs, yeah, sure, you need a left tackle and a right tackle, of course. But that center, brother, that center's got to be money. Money. It's easier to hide a guard than the center. You cannot hide the center. You can hide a guard. You never can hide a center. If the center is a weakness, it is because you have the ball in your hand, it's already that half second ruins everything. Your center has to be a stud. Your guards, one of your guards sucks or is mediocre, you can kind of hide them, especially in a zone.
I have issues,
especially in a zone scheme. In a zone scheme, especially, you can hide.
Yes, in the zone scheme. I have issues with what you're saying from this concern and standpoint and premise. The center usually isn't taking on somebody head to head. Center usually is helping, blocking, and therefore, I don't necessarily. And now with the new rules, you can't be lined up on top of the center.
Right. Exactly.
So you got it. Kind of eases the load for a center and makes it a little bit easier for him to be.
Well, notice that when you have a weak center, they stunt right into it, and so that's why I'm saying.
I mean, you can't have a weak center.
That's why last year when we talk about the line, I thought Poupart's line was on target. He said Austin Jackson and Eichenberg were terrible. We cannot say that about Dieter. Dieter was not terrible at the line. He did a serviceable job.
His workload wasn't hard. They had a harder workload, way harder. Even Jesse Davis had the hardest workload.
I'm going to give the man credit for playing a little better than Austin Jackson.
He's all right. You're a Dieter fan.
It's not that I'm a Dieter fan. I'm just saying I got to give him a little love. You know what I'm saying?
No, I can't give him a little love. I'm sorry. Dieter hasn't shown that he's worth his third-round draft pick.
Well, you could say you can't give Austin Jackson love or Eichenberg love or Solomon Kinley love, okay? But Dieter, you got to give him a little love.
I'm not giving any of them love. They were all, if you're a trash line, every member of that trash line is getting
again. You don't give Robert Hunt a little love.
No, I can't really.
Damn, would you go to the Joe Shad School of Grading?
No, I just
in honor of Joe Shad taking some time off, you're honoring him by being the tough grader today.
No, I just can't. When that's the unit that I watch the most. I'm obsessed with them. Everybody knows it. Every offensive line coach knows me by name because he knows I'm going to be ultra critical of his unit. Like I pay attention to that unit. And just because you're the smartest kid in the dunce class. That doesn't make you smart.
You're bad.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
You're bad. All right, we got Cam waiting. What do you got going on in the Sun Sentinel quickly so we can go?
I think you're going to make me write free agents that are still available. I think that's what I'm going to do.
There you go. We created another article for him right there in the middle of the show. Follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly and catch his exceptional work at the Sun Sentinel. Subscribe, all right? Support Omar and Ira and all the other great writers they have there in the Sun Sentinel.
Guy and Athlete tonight from
That's right.
7 to 9 on Channel 82 on Sirius.
There you go. Channel 80.
Brandon Marshall, Pat-Man Jones, and Antoine Walker breaking down the draft.
There you go. Good stuff there. Don't make any bets with Antoine. He won't pay up. All right. We'll see you later. We'll catch you next week.
All right.
You got it. Take it easy. That's Omar Kelly. And guess who's next? Cameron Wolfe, the Wolf Pack.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report with Omar Kelly. For additions, home remodeling, or custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is the custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843. We unleash the Wolf Pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolfe. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolfe.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. That is Cameron Wolfe. How you doing, baby? You doing all right?
Good, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. We're out here at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines, getting it done.
You getting a new whip?
No. We're just, it's our bi-weekly appearance here.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Hanging out. I think I'll get one next summer, because that's when they plan to take out a fully electric SUV. And so really? I'm not buying another gas car again.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I'm waiting for the right electric car to come out, and then purchase that, and my wife too. I'm not buying gas ever again. So
I will say that's the economic smart bet. Maybe I'll get over it, but I'm still in love with my gas guzzler, man. I got a Challenger that guzzles gas like nobody's business. She costs $100 to fill up. Feels like I fill her up every week and only drive 10 miles a day, and I still love her. Even though she's expensive, she's like a bougie girlfriend. You just deal with it, right?
Yeah.
But I probably should get on the Tesla train. Maybe.
Hey man, there's this one Tesla that'll.
Yeah.
It don't guzzle any gas, and it goes way faster than any gas guzzler.
Yeah.
They've got some of those that are really, really fast, dude. You can get to like 0 to 60 in like 2.5 seconds or something. It's just stupid. They got some of these. They're quick and they make no noise.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. I like the noise. I want to hear the engine roar a little bit. I'm a little old school. I'm from the South.
I get it.
I hear the car turn on. I like to hear my speakers loud. This is kind of the way I roll.
Well, this is what you do in today's world, right? What you do is you haul ass in electric, but you blast in your radio the engine sound.
Yeah,
that's also, they think it's an engine, but it's really your radio.
You're faking it though, Big O. Like,
yeah, exactly. You're lip syncing in the middle of a concert. Exactly.
Nah, I want to feel it. I want to feel the bass inside my car. I want to feel the engine rumble. I want to smell the smoke.
The gas.
My Challenger, my RT is actually not as loud as it can be. I quieted it a little bit because I have a family. I live in a neighborhood. I'm trying to be respectable. People look at me like I'm supposed to be a respectable human. So I can't go out here pumping the loudest thing I've got. But trust me, I still try to let them feel it. And there is my daughter.
Nothing wrong with that. It's good to have the daughter there as the co-host there. Anyways, she'll probably bring more insight anyways as it is.
Oh, absolutely. She knows a lot more than me.
Exactly.
She'll tell you everything about what she's learned on Elmo today, what's going on in the world, everything. She knows it all. So she would be who you guys want to hear from, not me.
What'd you think of the announcement for the practices? The 10th and 11th against the Bucks. You knew it was coming.
Yep.
But overall, I think these are the best ways to prepare your team for the season now.
Yeah, they got two of them. Like, don't forget they do joint practices with Philly towards the end of the season, end of the preseason as well. So I'm eager to see that, because those are two teams, like the Bucks, obviously with Tom Brady, that's a championship contender. But the Eagles, that's a team that was a playoff team last year. I think they'll be a playoff team this year. You get to play against two playoff teams essentially in joint practices and see how it is. So I think that's going to be a big perk. Like we talked about, you're going to learn a lot about your young players who may not play a ton, early on in the regular season. You're going to learn if they have it or not. A guy like Noah Igbenogany, you're going to play against Mike Evans. You're going to play against a Russell Gage in practice. And then when you get to Philly, you're going to play against AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. How do you play against those guys? It's going to be different going 100% versus, maybe Tyreek Hill's jogging against you. So I think those are going to be fun challenges to watch. For me, training camp, is always a whirlwind. Like for NFL Network, they're going to have me traveling everywhere. So I won't know my schedule yet. But I do know I will be in Miami that first Saturday of practice. That's our back to school joint practices. So I love training camp. It's probably one of my favorite parts of the year because everybody, like the offseason, has hope. Everybody's drinking that hopium that we talk about. Everybody believes their team can win it all, and so I get to run around a training camp and tell fans which team is lying to them. Which team is truly not ready to win it all. I'm looking forward to it, but I am not going to lie. I'm looking forward to vacation first. I'm going to be on vacation next week, going to take some light time over the next few weeks as we gear up. So I'm not going to rush to football, but once we get past that, I'm going to be geared up, and it's going to be a fun year. Yeah, they'll have you with the controversial trip. They'll have you here. Will Tua bounce back and be the man? Yep.
Will Teddy Bridgewater take his – well, let's go find out about Lawrence. Will Trevor Lawrence bounce back after a terrible rookie season? And then they'll send you to Tennessee.
Yep.
When is Malik's time coming? Because he's breathing down.
Hey, you got it.
Yeah.
You got it. You should write the show scripts.
That's
Those
it.
Yes, and that's probably going to be my track.
And they might have your ass pop in Indy and say, is Matt Ryan too old? Can Frank Reich continue his career? And
Right. I go to Carolina. What does Matt Rule have to do to save his job?
Is he trading for Baker Mayfield now that the other quarterback, what's his name, the Jet reject, threw like 80 interceptions in the first week of training camp?
Yep.
Are they trading for Baker Mayfield? Yes.
Exactly.
Sam Darnold.
Yep.
Sam Darnold has thrown 80 interceptions this week. Will Matt Rule save his ass by trading for Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, the storylines are endless. So go down to New Orleans. Are the Saints still going to be the same without Sean Payton and Drew Brees? Is Jameis Winston still going to be eating the crab legs down there, eating W's? What is he going to eat?
You know what? I feel bad. I feel bad for Jameis Winston.
Yeah,
because I believe it was 17-3 or 14-3, the touchdown to interception ratio.
Yeah, before
I don't think people realize how well he was playing under Sean Payton.
Right.
And that's my problem, that now Sean is gone. And that's kind of when we looked at Jameis, we said, bro, the good Lord blessed you. You have it all, dude.
Yep.
You just got to put it together here in this room, here in between your ears. And you needed the right guy and Sean is the guy that you would expect, being a quarterback guru. And bro, he was having himself a nice little season with a great coach and a great offensive mind. You kind of wonder, was that the moment for Jameis to kind of turn his season around, or did he learn enough there that he can then take off from here? Because it's not a lack of talent for that kid. It never has been.
So New Orleans is a very interesting spot to me because of a lot of the reasons you mentioned. That if people forget, the New Orleans Saints have had the Bucs number since Brady's been there. I can't remember if he's even won there. They won both of their trips last year. They've been this defense first team, and they're returning pretty much that whole defense. So although there's a lot of turnover, I watched a few Saints games in person last year. The offense was bad last year. And so it's not like you're going from, hey, we're losing all of our offensive juice. No, you didn't have much. So if you run it back, is this Saints team good enough to be a playoff team? Now, they have some issues. Alvin Kamara is probably going to be suspended.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
From the Vegas stuff, there were some reports that six games may be the deal there. They've been bad when he's not out there. But I'm with you. Jameis was better than what people gave him credit to early on. He should be fully healthy by the time training camp and the season goes around. And they went and got him a receiver in the first round in Chris Olave. They needed that. Michael Thomas is maybe healthy, maybe not. Who knows? So they're starting to have some weapons back, maybe potentially minus AK early in the season. Can they be a surprise team or what's going on there? Because you got to imagine Carolina's going to be awful. Atlanta's going to be awful. And so Tampa's there, but who else? New Orleans is the second best team in that division. And, could they challenge Tampa? Will Brady finally hit the decline? There's a lot of interesting storylines there really throughout the U.S., but there's a few teams we mentioned. We're going to have a lot of fun with those teams.
Yeah, Michael Thomas, grow the hell up, dude. God bless, bro. You're a hell of a player. Grow the hell up, bro. Man up, man. Be a professional. Be a professional for your teammates. All right, follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolfe and catch him doing his thing at the NFL Network. Cam, enjoy your weekend, my friend. We will catch up next week, man. All right.
All right, appreciate you, my guy. Thank you.
You got it. There you go. Cameron Wolfe. The Wolf Pack has been unleashed.
This has been the KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL insider Cameron Wolfe. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
Alrighty. Thank you all out there, as always, for supporting the show like you do. We're out here at Craig Zinn's, Acura of Pembroke Pines, baby. Always love being out here every single week. And by the way, they are celebrating their 14th anniversary. The 2023 Integra, $369 a month. The 2022 TLX Technology Package, $479 a month. The number one volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States now, 12 years in a row. So come on out here to 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 and Pines. They've got financing on several cars at 0.99% financing. So come on out here, limited term APR with approved credit. So check it out. And they've got vehicles here also. You can buy with confidence and receive a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. All right. Original in-service date from limited powertrain warranty. So check it out. Come on out to the offices or the entire complex here at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 and Pines Boulevard. All right. Danny Garcia, we await the boxer. Hopefully he will join us. Peister83 says, Big O, they have them in chronological order on Disney+. Really? So you hit Star Wars and they have the movies in chronological order, or the shows and the movies all together? Are you sure about that? Yeah, I know you have, well, you were showing me there what? But that's Star Wars in timeline order? Where is it? Oh, here it is. So Phantom Menace attack. Oh, very nice. I knew that they would do this. I knew somebody would do this. Oh, I'm doing this right. Oh, that's it. Yep. Yeah, I'm just going to do this with the wife. Yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to go through the chronological order. Oh, that's awesome. All right, we're ready to go. We're ready to rock. All right, it is time to talk a little boxing, baby. At the Barclays Center, July 30th, Danny Garcia is going to be taking on Jose Benavides, and he is kind enough to join us now on the program. Danny, how you doing, baby?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, it's my pleasure, man. I'm looking forward to it. How is the mindset for you as you prepare for stuff like this when you're this far out? How is it that you motivate yourself every day? You know, I saw in interviews you're already motivated. You want to pound the hell out of them. You're bigger, you're stronger. You want to go out there and prove it. I heard all of that. But mindset-wise, are there stages that you go through to get to that pinnacle?
Well, for me, you know, I just take it one day at a time. One day at a time, and I just make every day count. And every day that goes by, I'm just getting one day closer, and I'm mentally and physically and spiritually preparing myself for the fight. So that's how I usually take it. I usually just take it one fight at a time. I don't like to be ahead of myself. That's how you get anxious and start, you know, overthinking. So I just take it one day at a time. One day at a time. Make it count.
Now, but emotionally, right? Because obviously you must get jacked the night or the night of the fight and all that. What do you have to do to kind of restrain yourself from now till then? Is there anything you have to do to restrain yourself from not getting too emotional or outwork or overwork or something along those lines? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that anger is driven, that wanting to be great, all those kind of things that you athletes possess. You know, the invincibility quality in all of you and all of that. I think sometimes you have to kind of, protect yourself from yourself is what I'm saying.
For sure. So, there's definitely a such thing as overtraining and things like that. You know, you want to train hard. You want to push yourself to the limit. But some days you got to know when to tone it down. You know, some days you got to, because you want to be in the best shape of your life going into the fight. And, you're supposed to push yourself every day to the limit. But sometimes you have to know when to go extra mile, and some days is okay, that's enough. So, like I said before, I just take it one day at a time. You know, we work as a team, we get better and better every day, and we just show out fight night.
Now, I know you're not going to tell me your weaknesses or what you're struggling with, but you are debuting at 154. So,
yes, sir.
What are the adjustments? Okay. In a way, because there's got to be an adjustment, right? Holding 100%. The weight, all those kind of things. Maybe the people you're sparring with, a little bigger, they weigh a little bit more, all that kind
100%.
of stuff. So walk us through moving up and challenging yourself at this weight.
For sure, you know, it's always been a dream of mine to be a 3-division world champion, and I feel like this is the first step to doing that. It's going up in weight, and we've been preparing ourselves mentally, physically, and, you know, I want to build a lot more muscle. I want to be a lot stronger, a lot bigger. A lot of people don't know how big I am because I shrunk myself down to 140, 147, but I'm naturally a big guy. So I'm going to be fighting at my walk-around weight. I'm going to feel strong. Everything I've been through in my career, I'm use all that experience fight night and put it all together.
That's good stuff. Danny Garcia joining us here. Don't forget, you can catch him on Showtime July 30th at the Barclays Center. And you're a Philly guy, right? But obviously Puerto Rican at heart, right? Like
yes,
me,
sir.
I'm born in Belgrade, Florida, pero los padres míos son cubanos. So obviously that's it's in my soul. It's in my blood, right?
Yes, sir.
And while I love boxing, and obviously Cuban blood, my dad, brother, I grew up and every week my dad's getting Ring magazine and we're watching the fights and all that stuff. So I grew up with boxing in my blood too. So I ask you this because I can only ask Puerto Ricans and Mexicans and Cubans that come from the island, not even my kind of Cuban, me. No. When you think about this, we don't cherish boxing in this country like Puerto Ricans do,
100%.
like Mexicans do. So I'm just wondering, when you run into your American Philly fans or American fans like myself, and we talk about you and we talk about your game and your passion, it's different than when you talk to a Puerto Rican who they take it like it's one of their national sports. It's something
Definitely.
that they cherish. It's something that they take pride in. So how much does that mean to you that you have to kind of live up to that Puerto Rican boxing legacy?
It means a lot to me. I grew up watching Felix Trinidad. Felix Trinidad was like the world, he was everything. Coming up in a Puerto Rican household, Felix Trinidad, when he won, people threw parades in Philly. That's how big Trinidad was. So I love Trinidad, and I always grew up watching Puerto Rican boxing. Then when Trinidad was done, Cotto came in the picture.
That's right.
Yeah, so you always had a lot of great Puerto Rican fighters. So I took a little bit out of all them fighters growing up watching them. Took a little bit from Trinidad with his big left hook and Cotto with his body punching. So I always looked up to those guys, and I feel like they opened the doors for me. And I looked up to a lot of fighters from Philly. Bernard Hopkins. I always tell people I feel like I got the best of both worlds. I got the Puerto Rican power and the Philly toughness and the Philly skills. So it's a perfect mixture. I grew up in two great environments, the Puerto Rican boxing environment and the Philly environment. So it's just a perfect mixture, and I always take that into the ring with me.
The difference is, well, Hopkins had a personality, but when you talk about Trinidad and Cotto, brother, they don't even come close to the bravado you show.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I try. I try to have
No,
fun
you
with it.
do. You don't try, buddy.
Yeah.
You do. You're good.
Yeah, I try
You're
to
good.
have fun with it.
You know how to sell the fight. You know how to sell yourself.
sure.
By the way, that was one of the things that pissed me off about Trinidad, that he didn't learn the English language to sell himself. Dude, you know how much money he left in marketing as good as that
100%.
guy was?
But he
God,
was so
back in those days, I'm old, man. I've been doing radio a long time. So I remember when he was out and it was like, you're one of the best fighters in the world. Dude, learn a little bit of the language. Come on over and make some money, dude, and sell your name, sell who you are. Because I think Tito is still underrated.
Yeah, I feel like they don't speak about him. They don't talk about him enough as they should. Like I see them
Because
talking
he
about a
didn't
lot
sell
of other great
himself.
fighters. And
Right.
I just feel like, a part of it is just because he loves being Puerto Rican. He loves his culture, and he doesn't want to. He's okay with his people just loving him.
Like Camacho. We'll never stop talking about Hector Macho Camacho.
Yeah,
Ever.
He was controversial in and out the ring. So people like that, you never stop talking about.
And he sold himself. He was great at selling himself when he was in his peak, right? And
100%.
why? Because he knew both languages, so he knew how to manipulate both. And that was one of the things that to this day it frustrates me with Tito, that we would be talking more about Tito if Tito went out to sell himself, but he was happy being in the island, being within his family, and all of that. Hey, listen.
100%.
Some people don't have that personality in them. They're just not that person. Derek Jeter is one person and Ricky Henderson was another,
100%.
Two different completely, we look at Mike Trout, right? And he's a completely different player because he's quiet as hell and he's a superstar.
Yeah, but he lets his skills speak for itself. So
right, but
some fighters are like that. Some fighters have a lot of skill and just don't really speak a lot. And some fighters have a personality. It's just who you are as a person. You really can't change it because then you kind of be stepping out your own character. But if you have it in you, you got, just let it out.
Yeah. The good thing is the hardcore people like you and me, we don't forget the Tito Trinidads. And we say, hey, man, listen, this guy, Alexis Arguello was another quiet guy, too. Really respectful dude. One of the great fighters of all time, Alexis Arguello. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those.
A lot of those guys are humble, great champions.
Exactly.
Who just love boxing and love their people, and they were cool with that.
All right.
And
right.
to me, they're legends, and I'll never forget about that.
What's the toughest thing for you now, bouncing back from the Spence fight?
It's really not tough, to be honest. I just took some time off, let my mind rest, let my body rest. I've been boxing for 24 years, so I don't think layoffs are going to affect me. I'm feeling good. The first couple of weeks in the gym are always tough, when you haven't got hit in a long time, but I feel good. It's like riding a bike. And every day we're working to get better. So you know, right now we're just taking it one day at a time. That's just my mindset.
And I ask you this, and of course we're talking with Danny Garcia, and I ask you this because we all have setbacks. You know, I've been fired. We've lost people we love. We have breakups. We businesses, you know, go.
100%.
You lose your business. We all have setbacks in life, and that's what makes us better people and better and our characters stronger because we get to learn
Exactly.
from those kind of situations.
Right.
But it's funny because you know, when we talk about sports as sports fans, we talk about a team losing or a boxing match or a UFC match or something, and somebody loses, and we talk about it very loosely. But in the end, we all suffer the same kind of experiences in life. Obviously, yours is a little different, just like
Absolutely.
me. When I got fired from a radio station, everybody knew that I got fired from the radio station, just like everybody knows whether you win or lose
Right.
a fight.
Because
Most
you're in the
people
public eye.
exactly. Most people in life, when they have their failures, it's all behind the scenes, only family and
Exactly.
friends, right? And it's hard, but it's one of those mental challenges. So, what is it that carries you the best through all difficult situations?
You know, speaking more of that, you know, I heard like Barack Obama say that one time. He said that you know, when regular people lose, no one knows. But when you're in the spotlight, you lose in the world. So you lose to the world. So it's a lot harder because you got to take the criticism and you got to take what everyone says and thinks about you. But me, I'm the type of person, I never listen to what people think. I always did my own thing. I always still locked in. And like I said before, like you said, we all have losses. You know, if you lose somebody in your family, you lose your job. And to me, I'm just having fun. You know, I love the sport of boxing. I'm doing this because I love it. I enjoy it. And I've been doing it for so long. So for me, it's just, I'm just going out there having fun and I just love what I'm doing. So I take the good with the bad and the bad with the good.
I get you. All right. So tell me on July 30th, what kind of fun you're going to have with Jose Benavides?
You know, I'm going to go in there. Like I said before, it's going to be the Danny Garcia show. You know, I'm back in Brooklyn. It's my home away from home. And I just can't wait. You know, it's been a year and a half since I've been in the ring. And I'm headed to the gym right now to put the work in. And come fight night, it will be no regrets. We're going to go in there and get the job done, get this W.
All right. We'll let it go with this. All right. So, Danny Garcia, tell me what's the funniest thing that has ever happened to you in a fight? Pro, amateur, you tell me, because maybe we didn't see it or something along those lines. I've seen most of your fights, so I'm just trying, because it might have been an exchange in the corner. It might have been something you heard. It might have been one of your opponents or something. Tell me something that happened funny in one of your fights, because you've been around long enough that something has had to happen.
Well, I mean, I got kind of a funny story. When I was fighting Matisse, I got back to the corner, and I think he busted my eardrum, so I really couldn't hear. So my pop is screaming, "Get down, let's do this!" And then he smacks me, boom. And I said, "I can't hear." Like he just thought I wasn't paying attention, but I couldn't. I really couldn't hear. So he smacked me a couple of times, and I said, "I can't hear you. I mean, I got a busted eardrum." So that was like a funny part. That was like a funny moment in my career because he thought I wasn't listening, but I just couldn't hear.
So how does that repair a busted eardrum?
Well, they gave me some eardrops. I remember the next day I was kind of walking crooked, like to the side, because it messed with your equilibrium. Your ear messes with your equilibrium. So I was kind of walking crooked, and I think that was kind of like a funny moment in my career where he just thought I wasn't listening, but I couldn't hear.
That's because there were other times where you weren't really listening. So he thought this was another one of those times, right?
Exactly.
There you go. All right, Danny. Hey, listen, man. Thank you for taking some time. Yeah, exactly. We all do it, man. I mean, we're all guilty, right? That's it happens to all of us, right? And vuelan un avión. You know, that's how it goes. All right, Danny. Appreciate you, my brother, man. Good luck. Good luck against Benavides on the 30th there at the Barclays Center, man. We look forward to having you on again. Appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
You You got it. There you go. Danny Garcia, baby. Debut, 154 pounds, junior middleweight. And it'll be at Showtime, so you can watch it July 30th from the Barclays Center. He'll take on Jose Benavides. It should be a fun match. I am looking forward to it as a boxing fan myself. I love it, so I am a fan, so I'm looking forward to it. By the way, you know what I'm also looking forward to? A little action this weekend, and since there's some action, well, we have something that we do called our liquor split matchup of the night.
It's time to tap that app. And no one loves to tap that app like the Big O. Here's the liquor split matchup of the night.
Team that's been going on for the last 3 days, right? I win one by half a run. I lose one by half a goal. I did win one by half a goal, actually. And yesterday, we won one by half a run again. Why? Because we took the Rockies. I told you it's really hard to sweep. But if they sweep, okay, it'll be a one-run game. I'll take the 1.5, and that's exactly what we did. We took Colorado plus 1.5. They won 3-2. We took that half, and we won. And that's just the way it is. Well, tonight, the Marlins will start a set against the Mutts at 6:40. T1 Walker, the former Seattle Mariner, is on the mound towing the slab for the New York Mets. He is 5-2 with a 2.88 ERA. Our man, Sandy Alcantara, is on the mound, 7-2 and a 1.72 ERA. Well, what is the line? What is the liquor split lineup for tonight? Marlins are favored by 1.5 runs in this game. Over and under 7.5 runs in this game. Two good pitchers. One's under 2 ERA, the other one's under 3, and Vegas thinks there's going to be a 7.5 run line here. Mets are plus 120. The Marlins are minus 140. I got to tell you something. I got to go against the Marlins again today. Not because I think they're going to lose, but I think if they win by a run. I'm going to take that half run that I took yesterday and won with it. And I've won that half 2 out of the last 3 games in the liquor split matchup of the night. I'm going to go for 3 out of 4 in this one. I'm taking the Mutts plus 1.5 in our liquor split matchup of the night.
The matchup of the night is brought to you by Liquor Split, Miami's own online liquor store. Liquor Split. Download the Tap That app and get your favorite liquor delivered to you for just $2.99. No risk, no drinking and driving. Tap that app with Liquor Split.
All right. Yes, sir. Ready to go, ready to rock. I like it. Facebook facts being put on the chat board. Let's see. In my opinion, the best live sport or games to watch is ice hockey, boxing, and horse racing. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, hockey is just awesome live. God, I love hockey and boxing. You got to be close. If you're within the first, I don't know, what would you say, 30 rows or something of the ring, then yeah. But if you're in the second level somewhere, it's not, you're watching it on the tube, basically. You know what I mean? You got to be close and it'll be fun. Just like the same thing with the UFC, MMA, Bellator, whatever. You want to be closer to the octagon. If not, then you want to watch it on television. But yeah. When you're up close, yeah, I'm there. Pedro Rivera says, viene Orlando aquí. Estamos en Puerto Rico. Go, Danny. There you go. All right, Pedro. Now it's your job, Pedro. Get us the sponsor that wants to fly us out there to broadcast for a couple days out there. You mind going to Puerto Rico, hanging out for a couple days? You been there? There you go. Oh, because the military? Okay. What the hell are the Marines doing in Puerto Rico? What is it? Dive ops? Oh, wow. Diving ops in the reefs, huh? Yeah, that's really nice. Ah, you guys are really picking some great places. Yeah. Why weren't you diving in the Miami River? Huh? Why don't you go dive in the Hudson? Huh? Why don't you go dive in the Potomac? Huh? Why aren't you guys diving in the muck of Louisiana? So you sail on down to Puerto Rico to the beautiful reefs, huh? Damn, boy, you Marines are living the life. I gotta tell you. I thought tough Marines would be diving into the muck of Louisiana. That's what tough Marines do.
The home base is Mile Hammock Bay in North Carolina.
Yeah, well, North Carolina.
The swamps in North Carolina there, yeah.
Swamps of North Carolina.
Where they train is the breeding ground for hammerhead sharks. Hammerhead, yeah.
Really?
Yes, I found out on Discovery after I left.
So they were using you as hammerhead bait?
We might have been a bait. Maybe there's reasons why certain months we didn't.
Or maybe that's why there were so many sharks. Because they say humans come here. Let's go.
Maybe that's why they send us to Puerto Rico every other month.
That's it. That's it. Puerto Rico is a commonwealth of the U.S. Yes, thank you. Yes, we know that, Rosendo. Thank you very much. Rosendo with the obvious facts on the show there. La Isla de Encanto. Yes, it is. Let's see. Let's laugh bigger. Highway robbery, concession stands. I don't know. Why are you worried so much about that, bro? I mean, whatever. Who cares? What else do we have here? Matt Ryan, Atlanta blew that huge lead. Well, I won't blame that on solely on Matt Ryan. Your defense is up 25 points. Maybe you shouldn't be giving up that 25 points. Okay, and maybe your head coach should call more running plays. Okay, that's the other thing, that the head coach kept calling passing plays, and it's like, yo, dude. So sometimes you got to blame the coach. All right, Seattle decided to pass at the 1 yard line instead of handing it off to Marshawn Lynch. Like the most obvious. Just do the obvious play, bro. It's one of the things about football that has never changed, and you can go back and watch that film of Lombardi that says, well, we're going to run it through here and here and here, and they know we're going to do it. But if you execute it, it will work. And that's exactly the right thing. If it's executed the right way, it will work. And if you don't know how to execute, then you're not going to get anything done. And so you're up 25 points. You got to know as a head coach what to do there in order to drive your team to the rest of that game and win. That's why you're a head coach. You're there to guide your team and prepare them the right way. Latest from Bet Online, Kevin Durant's next team, if not the Nets, Miami Heat 5-2, the Grizzlies 4-1, the Hawks 9-2, the Suns 5-1, the Clippers 11-2, and the Knicks 6-1. Portland 15-2, by the way. Give us KD. I'll take KD. I don't want anything to do with Kyrie Irving, but I'll take KD. Yeah, he's a jerk and everything, but I'll take KD.
Another part of that was Kyrie, I think, was going to the Clippers, I want to say. It was LA Clippers.
Yeah.
It was the leading for the Kyrie Irving side.
Well, the Clippers can have him. All right? They want that head case? Go ahead. I mean, the Nets they're dealing with 3 head cases. Simmons, Kyrie, and Durant's a head case. Now, the good thing about that head case is most of his stuff is off the court. Like, he worries. Did you see that story that came out this morning? He responded to a 15-year-old take from a talk show host. Something about when he was coming out in college that he can only bench like 170 pounds, and and the host was making fun of him. So he responded to a video that's like 15 years old. Like that guy is like incredibly touchy. Big O doing big things. Great show today. Thank you, sir. Rosendo goes, sorry, I'm a history teacher. Love facts. I know, Rosendo, but it's just funny because, like, we all know Puerto Rico's been like the 51st state like forever. You know, we know it's part of us, but we don't give them a star. You know, there's a lot of Americans, by the way, moving there. I don't know why, because their infrastructure is all screwed up. But they, because of what's that called? Capital gains taxes. They have no taxes on capital gains there. So a lot of people are moving over there and enjoying their capital gains over there is what they're doing. Now, a lot of Puerto Ricans are pissed that a lot of international or American people are allowed to move there and get all kinds of breaks that Puerto Ricans are not enjoying because they don't enjoy the same breaks in capital gains. So that's also caused an issue on the island. It's a beautiful island, man. It's not, unfortunately, they have not run it right. They've got the wrong people running that island. It is, their government is all screwed up. Their infrastructure is all screwed up. That's why that I know the whole thing with capital gains, but still, it's not the perfect place for that. Dougie Fresh says, Ozzy announced new album, Patient 9, featuring Eric Clapton, Josh Homme, Duff McKagan, Chad Smith, Robert Trujillo, Mike McCready, Chris Chaney, and Taylor Hawkins. Yeah, I know. I heard about the project with all those people. I'm hoping that surgery went well for him and he's able to at least, whatever days he has left, whatever years he has left. I don't mean days like he's only got a days, but whatever he lives a little bit more of a comfortable life, man. It's sad to, have to suffer your final days. That's not fun. You're better off like Goose. Not that I don't want anybody to die, but at least you go from one moment to another and that's it, dude. But, these people that unfortunately end up suffering and deteriorating and all that, God, that's how my dad passed away. And I don't wish that on anybody, man. I don't wish it on anyone. You go one day to another, man, one moment to another, and that's it. This whole long, drowned out suffering thing, God, I don't wish it on anybody. That's just painful. What else do we have here? Did you hear? Oh, God, no, you guys are silliness. All right, looks like nothing there on the, you know what, let me check the Welton Realm text line, see if there's anything interesting coming up on the Welt and Realm text line. Let me see. And 855-912-1056, by the way, on the Welt and Realm text line. Chewbacca has a whole family, but was away from them serving his life debt to Solo. They appear in the Great Star Wars Holiday Special. Okay. Big O Nicola Jr., I hope he can bring the same energy intensity as PJ Tucker, because now I feel like the Heat are going to let PJ sign elsewhere. No, I think you're wrong. I think PJ stays. I think they want PJ. This young kid, he's not part of this mix for a couple of years. Don't even think about this kid contributing next year. You hope he can help out the following year. A little bit off the bench. Big O, if you scroll down on the Disney Plus Star Wars, is what you just showed me section, they have everything, movies and TV shows in chronological order. I love it. Thank you all this is what I love about all of you out there. You help me out with this kind of stuff when I need it. And I need the information. You guys come through with it, man. That's strong. I appreciate you guys. Let me check and see if my damn Ethereum came through already. Nope, not yet. Still waiting. Sucks when you got to wait like 24 hours or something for this stuff to go through. And now I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that, but I'm just telling you, if you got some stuff on certain exchanges because you're enjoying interest rates and all that, and I was doing it too, you might want to pull them off and get them onto a cold wallet with some of the stuff that's gone on with with Luna, and now with Celsius. The good thing with the Voyager, I don't think Voyager's a problem. Voyager got their loan and covered it with from FTX, so they're set. They're fine. They don't have an issue, and they're it wasn't a stable coin getting unpegged and millions and billions that you have to find and replace. That wasn't the case like it is. So I don't believe the Voyager stuff is something that's scary, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't take the stuff off anyways if you can. Now, what's happened to Celsius and what's happened with Luna, you got to kind of be careful. And there's other ways, by the way, that you can stake and still earn off of cold wallets. All right. And I don't need to get into it hot and heavy here. Maybe I'll do that in the next week or two and explain it to people a little bit more. I don't want to bore too many of you with that, but there's other ways of doing it because I do it. But sometimes you can get better rates in other places. So sometimes, at this moment, like there's nothing wrong with crypto.com, but I've been taking my stuff off of crypto.com. Just some of the stuff I've had staked, taking it off now. Just to kind of protect myself in a way, because you never know. That's the beauty of crypto, man. You own the keys, you own the coins, and you control everything. And that's what you always got to make sure that you control everything. It's very, very important. Let's see what else. Heard by sources that the 76ers is offering a 3-year, $10 million. Yes, the sources exactly, but Miami can offer the same contract for $27 million, no tax state. Boom. You're in. It's not a big deal. You'll be fine. Don't overreact. Don't panic. You'll be fine, Rosendo. Don't panic. I'll treat you to a drink over at Sports Grill in Doral, Rosendo, when I see you during the season. And we're looking forward to it. Looks like we'll be at Doral. I was talking to Carlos, and they're still hiring. Doral, Miami Lakes, Bird Road, they still need employees, all kinds. So if you're looking for work, don't complain. There's plenty of work out there. So there you go. All right, we're out of here. We thank Anthony Chiang, Manny Navarro, Omar Kelly, Cameron Wolfe, and boxer Danny Garcia, and the great people at Showtime. We thank, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Larry Schlossberg. Yes, sir. Pat Nasto, Tony Stampone, all the amazing people, Mr. Zinn, and the great family here, of course, that takes care of us at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines every single month that we're out here. And of course, remember, they are celebrating their 14th year out here. Many great deals like the brand new 2023 Integra. They've got it out here, $369 a month. That thing is sharp and beautiful. 2022 TLX technology package, $479 a month. They've got lease features here at 0.99%. Check it out, why they've been the number one volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States now 12 years in a row. That is Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. All right, we will see you guys tomorrow. We'll be at keynesware from 11 to 1, so we'll be doing a short 2-hour show tomorrow. We'll see you there. Y'all be good. Sean Stanley, sir, thank you for mastering this and getting it done as you do every single day. And thank you all out there, whether you made a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show, or you did a super chat or anything like that. By the way, did anybody send me any crypto? Did anybody make a crypto? Because we made all kinds of donations. Nobody's made a crypto donation. Let me see. Nope, no crypto donation. But if you want to send a little Bitcoin or Ethereum, you can send it to our Cash App address at Cash Big O Show, because we got it there. All right. I'd like to see who sends the first crypto donation. All right. We will see you all tomorrow, 11:01, and then we're back on Monday. Be good. Enjoy the baseball. Enjoy the soccer tomorrow. Go Inter Miami against Minnesota. Get it done, baby. La Rosa Negra. Out of here.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.